We're here! It's time to fight some demons in the Gehenna Forest. Boy, do I have plans for y'all today.
I can't wait to regret how excited we are.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard adjusting power levels for you guys specifically. So let's hope this one doesn't murder y'all.
Hope not.
I hope not either. Because you guys want to fight some demons, and I'm going to tell y'all, there's not a lot of weak demons. A lot of them, even the lower tier ones, are pretty beefy.
Oh yeah. Something important to let you know before we start the campaign or the session. I bought a key ability.
Okay.
I have automatic transport now.
Oh, okay. Sure.
That'd be useful. Up to 300 feet. Because I can easily make that accumulation and then some.
Okay. Cameron and Alex sound really good.
If Alex sounds good, then everyone's going to sound good.
Thank you.
That wasn't a compliment.
Meow.
I know.
Sure you do. Sure you
Yeah, I
do.
would say that too if I were you.
You sounded so genuinely happy for
Yeah, intentionally.
Sure.
Was it intentional because you thought it was a compliment?
No. I thought it sounded the same, like could mean both things. I thought it'd be funny.
Anywho. Last time, you guys had traversed two different layers of Gehenna. You met the Lord of the Dead, also known as the King of the Spectral Flame. And you guys had seen an ancient city deep within the forest of Moth. And there was some big nope thing in there, and you guys are like, nah, we won't fight this thing.
I was about to say we saw an abandoned city that we subsequently ignored.
Yep. True adventures. Right there. No worries. No worries. As the merciful God that I am, I will ensure you guys suffer this next part.
I hope Alex doesn't immediately ruin it with that new technique.
I could just teleport. No, I didn't buy the.
Okay, you didn't buy the
No, it was just a theory.
dump truck of damage.
It was a theory key ability that I built that I may get one day, but it was just seeing how much damage I could output like as easily as I could.
At the cost of your own life, of course.
Yeah, but as like how many what's the earliest turns I can get out? Like just a fuck ton of damage. 2 turns of accumulation. Nice.
Key users, man.
They're very fun.
It's okay. You've done the same thing Ken has done. You have no defensive techniques whatsoever.
Nope. The only thing I can do consistently is I could get an ability through Gun Hell that helps me dodge projectiles. That's fucking it.
And the pages in what book in the document you gave me?
What was that?
Which pages? Like in what book?
I'm sure it's the Dominion.
Oh, sorry. That's the Dominion of Key book. Sorry about that. I forgot to mention.
So now, you guys are traversing into the 6th layer of Gehenna. as you guys traverse, we're going to roll and see if you guys end up in the wake or the material world. I need to roll under a 60 for you guys to go into the wake. Okay. As you guys continue moving forward, the forest is abnormally lush here, as you have a mix between coniferous and non-coniferous trees, big leafy trees, oak-like trees mixed in with pine. You guys come to a clearing at some point that smells heavily of dew, fresh earth, and clean air, which you realize that the entirety of this forest has had a very stale or stagnant kind of feel to it. As you guys walk into this clearing, you feel like you can take your first breath in days. And at the center of this large clearing is a massive stump of a tree left in ages past. Very much overgrown and well past being new. The base of this tree was at the very least 100 feet across.
Damn.
Most houses could fit inside this tree stump easily. Probably like a house and a half. You guys get the sense of safety.
See, I'm trying to like guess if we're in the wake or not, but it's hard to follow up like in my mind a possible burning like tomb that we could have been in the last circle. And if this one's wake version is just a big tree.
Who knows?
We froze.
There it goes.
Oh no, I'm sure
There
it's
it
a
goes.
perfectly peaceful aura of safety trunk tree. With Cameron having just finished the I will make sure you all suffer.
Of course, yeah.
Out of caution, since she's unsure that this is a strange new feeling in the forest, be sure is going to throw out magic detection.
Okay, sure. Make a magic appraisal. Arthur, nothing
It
picks
feels
up
too
on
nice
your
here.
half-mile radar, is it now?
Yep.
That's not true. You pick up on an abundance of wildlife in the area. Mostly small game.
That is a 119 magic appraisal. Correction, 219.
219. 119 did sound very low.
It did.
Feeling the general area, you get the sense that this area is much more attuned to light than it is to darkness. You have a strong sense that this area is somewhat perfused with light and essence energies, completely contradicting the rest of the forest.
She mentions that too. Tell Knight and see if he knows anything about something like this.
Well, first of all, congratulations. You did something right.
What do you mean?
Getting a sense for the general type of attunement an area has to the magics is very important for any wizard. Most importantly, you must be aware in case your opponents utilize the natural energies around them. Second, I don't know. The forest itself seems to have a particular attunement, probably due to its close proximity to the wake, but something darker lies there. Though this area seems almost as if a balance point, something that contradicts the rest of the forest. I don't know what caused this, whether it's just a natural flux of the ley lines through the area, or this is intentional. Still, peculiarities, even in here, are something to be cautious of. Mr. I don't know what to refer to you as. Scout? Long distance scout?
How about Arthur?
Sure. I was hoping that you would infer by my comment what I was asking.
All essence here is small game.
Okay. Well, I don't think this is the First Lord's manor, or he's a lot more druidly than I expected.
Well, would definitely be something to not expect, especially if he's a Vatella.
If he's a Vatella, this light natural attunement would be almost detrimental to them.
Then with who's gotten bored has wandered over towards the tree stump.
Okay. As I mentioned before, this stump is 100 feet across. Massive. As you come up, you can definitely see a lot of lichen, moss, and some flowering plants have taken root in the bark of this tree. And you get the sense that this is the center point of this region.
Does the stump seem like strangely like uniformly cut, or is it just like
No, in fact, it looks as if whatever grand tree this originally spawned from had cracked by some force and broken in a jagged edge. And as you guys walk around, looking up, the light kind of casting this ray of dust and motes across, you can see that there is a hollowness that can be seen quite easily on the inside.
Is it a similar hollowness to like the trees that were in the Hunger Ring?
No, the hollowness from those trees originated like at the base near the roots. This hollowness seems to be that whatever happened to the top part of this tree after it had gone, the inside had been slowly eroded away, leaving just a shell of a stump.
But there's no ginormous fallen tree anywhere around.
No, actually, strangely.
Is there any way to tell what kind of tree it used to be?
It's hard to say because you've never heard of trees that get to this size before.
Hey Finn, with any trees this big where you live?
There's an immediate like bark of laughter from where he's like just hopped over a root to the other side, like looks back up over. No.
I've never heard of anything like this either.
We're just dug out for trees as he kind of like steps up one of the roots. Though careful not to disturb too much. It's the middle side of the gestalt trees. Nothing like this.
The bark of this tree is rather mottled and provides ample handholds and footholds of anyone who are wishing to try to climb up into the hollow.
Finwood kind of steps further up the roots. He's curious about it.
Ishtar is too. This is definitely new.
All right, is climbing a skill in this one?
It is.
Yep.
Yes.
Climb rolls, please. For those who wish to travel into the hollow.
Sure. Arthur just runs up with weight elimination. Actually, even better. I'm
what's your
going to use my
agility?
new. Actually, never mind. Even better. I'm just going to teleport in with automatic transportation. Never fucking mind.
If you want to spend the key.
Yeah. Think it'd be fun.
How much key is that, by the way?
It's 5 agility.
So 5.
Let me look. Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a 123 climb check.
Okay, put it in the chat.
Surprising roll for Ishtar considering she's only got a 35.
I'm incredibly upset because I've just wasted God's own roll to carefully climb up around a tree. As I double open rolled for climbing up a fucking tree. It was a 98 and a 95 for a 227.
Jesus. What about you, Alexi? You gonna climb?
Alexi doesn't really sense anything inside the tree, so he's just gonna hang out at the bottom, kind of keeping an eye out on things.
The atmosphere of the place and like them idly talking about like essence and life and just has him curious to it.
Don't forget to write your climb in the Discord. Or not Discord, Roll20. Thank you.
Oh yeah, what a hell knight. Is he just staying outside too?
Oh, yeah, no. He crosses his arm watching everyone, and he's just like, I think I've well grown beyond the age of climbing trees.
Your choice, old man, as she continues climbing.
Oh, you grew out of having fun.
That's
It's worse.
Professor to you.
Whatever.
By the time you guys climb, Arthur's already there.
Arthur, as you're the first one to arrive at the top, followed shortly by Finwith, who you can't tell if they're bear or ape at this point, climbing at such a ferocious speed.
Well, fuck, you're fast.
He just kind of leverages himself up, like looking curiously, like what?
As you guys look within, you find that this entire hollow is a massive empty space. That's has a peculiar groove set in the lower part of it. Something that is probably close to about, excuse me, 50 to 60 feet has ground a groove in the bottom, circular groove in the bottom, and like a rounded edge around the top. If you were to imagine it like almost as if a perfectly solid tire had been used to like remove and grind and smooth out the interior of this stump.
But no other markings and nothing in it.
There's nothing in it.
He just kind of squats down on his heels, larger arms tossed over his knees, looking down. Oh. That's weird.
Extremely.
I wonder what caused this.
Hopefully nothing we come across.
Well,
Down
give us
towards
a
the
place just
floor.
so nice.
Though it's particularly rough, Arthur, because you have such keen eyes with a stupid high notice, can see that despite it being somewhat sanded down and grooved out, the floor has very definitive rings in it. And they are very, very numerous.
It's an old ass tree before it
Yeah.
died.
Aside from being sanded down on the inside, is there any plant life growing in here either?
Some mostly towards the top of the jagged parts, where some of the moss or lichen has kind of curved inside. Ishtar, due to your earlier magic appraisal, you can sense something off about the interior, though, like almost as if there's a taint to it. Very faintly. So faint that you would probably not have noticed if you hadn't been so on alert. But you can feel just slight amounts of dregs of darkness emanating from the interior of this stump.
She mentions it to Finwith and Arthur. It's almost as if maybe whatever darkness is in the forest is slowly seeping in here.
Well, kind of outside would I know? I can ask.
Mm.
He kind of leverages himself back up to his full height and kind of walks the circumference of it.
You find that despite the tree being predominantly hollowed out, the surrounding wall, as it were, of this stump is still about 5 to 6 feet thick. So walking across, well, perilous. Thanks to godly climb checks, you guys don't have a serious amount of issue getting around. Well, maybe besides Arthur.
I mean, I guess it works. Bears are really good at climbing, despite how bulky they are.
It's true.
Do not ever hide from a bear up a tree. It will not go well for you.
I just realized I have good climbing equipment in my inventory.
They can rig up a fucking tree.
No. Just a funny observation.
Eventually, he kind of like turns back around and trots back over to Ishtar. Just kind of looks at you expectantly.
Well, I am curious, but I don't know if we should. Have you ask, how many times can you use that?
About once per dawn.
Might as well. Don't know what else.
Oh, I wasn't asking. I was waiting for you to get the little notepad thing.
No.
He grinned. He's like, I want to know.
Fair enough.
I want the tree lore.
Being aware of the precariousness of your situation and the fact that you go mostly out of control when you go into your trance, you probably should do this in a more level area or risk
I jump
falling.
into the pit. I'm kidding.
No! That'd be an interesting way to take notes considering how far down this is probably is.
But yeah, so he just kind of like half like scoops you up over like the shattered edge to put you on one of the roots and follows over.
Thank you.
And then we'll go
Arthur
down
can use
and
his
so-
weight elimination to just drop from this and lands
Yeah,
soundlessly.
he does so. I was about to say, he literally just walks off and just.
whatever time point it is, Doc somewhere in the Emerald's house just straightens. Sound of disgust.
Like, that means Doc has been feeling that a lot. Very strongly recent. Yeah, so I just don't need to eat or sleep anymore. I just decided I don't.
He just thinks he's come down with a cold he can't shake. Or that he's being poisoned. Probably by Sebastian. But, no, Finwith will settle in. Give me the tree lore. He wants to know what happened here and what its purpose is. What do I roll?
This is going to be an occult roll. Don't forget, you add 100.
I would never.
Okay. As you go and into this trance, the spirit this time is not what you were expecting. Before, were you seen shadows or dark profiles of what appeared to be mostly human? This time, you see an effeminate being surrounded by what appeared to be tentacles or vines. It's hard to make out. And as Fenwith speaks, a surprisingly effeminate voice, though deep and matriarchally, if that's even a word.
Matronly.
Matronly, that's a good one. Yeah. Rings out. At the beginning of the world, before all life once was rooted, a grand tree, mighty and powerful. It would sup from the lands all the light, goodness, and energy this world had to provide. But it realized that it was alone. That due to its mighty roots and its strong vitality, it was doomed to be alone. So the great mother tree gave herself to the lands. Under the strength of her own will and desire to give life to the lands around her, she bent, snapped, and as all mothers would later do, bore great pain to bear life. And thus did she die, so that all life could live. Her bark became mountains. Her heartwood would be used as soil. Her sap would turn to rivers and fill oceans. And from her great vitality, life sprang in an instant. First came the grasses, then the flowers and bushes, and finally the trees. Those that would take after the Great Mother. Those that after their own long lives would break and offer their life to the world around them. She has many names. Yggdrasil, Verdus, Great Mother, but to the Dryad, her name was simply Mother. Even in death, she watches all those in her domain, giving them peace, and protecting those who respect nature. With that, the vision fades.
Quick question, because I know Fenwith is translating from the staff to us. He's the conduit. Does his voice change at all during these moments at all?
Yes, as I said, a matronly voice emanated from Finwith.
He blinks too after a bit.
She
Oh.
repeats it.
He gets
She'd offer to
like,
show notes, but
quietly excited about it. You know, he wouldn't be able to read a lot. Poor bitch, he leverages himself back up, stretches, sets away the walking stick, looking back at the stump. With a low, long whistle.
that would explain the clearing of peace.
Well, this provides us with a unique opportunity. If we wanted to rest here, I don't imagine there being much safer places in the forest.
True. Might as well take this chance.
Must have a good breather. But not too often you find what origin on life of a world. Do you think any of her the dryads are still here?
Do I know anything about dryads?
Roll an occult.
I definitely know bupkis about dryads.
I hope Ripley showing up isn't like, foreboding or possible, like, we'll get ambushed if we rest you.
And to be fair, if you lived in Hoffman, I doubt you've ever even seen a fucking tree. Much too cold.
You get excited because you're like, hey, guys, look, a plant! And they point, and it's a lichen. It's just some cold, hardy lichen desperately clinging to a rock somewhere.
That's a 75.
Type it in the chat.
It's a fir tree that's been like dormant for years.
Neither of us hit 80.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys either don't come from regions that Dryad mythology would be very commonly heard of, or just really haven't thought to look into it.
Technically, when you were back home, Ishtar, it probably wasn't on your mind.
Like the church would teach about dryads in school.
Fairies are heresy. Slaps hand.
Hell Knight didn't get that high. Granted, he got way above you guys, but
That's because he has a better occult roll than I do, or a score.
yes.
Yeah.
By a lot.
What he gives is thus: I don't know much about dryads other than they tend to keep to themselves, only interfering when mankind decides to mess with nature. So I don't recommend digging up any plants or chopping down any trees if we're in such a mecca of dryads, as it were.
Or what?
The holy place.
Okay.
I am slightly concerned if this is a mother tree. There's a small point of darkness there. I wonder if that's from the legend where she was consuming everything.
Well, I would say, like all creation stories, there may be some truth to it, but most of it is just the willful desires of those who praise such things. So I doubt a tree, even of this size, could provide life to the world in its entirety.
There's still a lot we don't know.
I would imagine, but if you were to compare this to like an apple, this tree would be not even a speck of dust upon it.
Maybe this tree gave birth to the Gehenna Forest at least.
I would find that more likely. Who knows what
That's
has
what happened.
transpired since then, though.
Yeah, he kind of gestures back the way they've come. And just be sad if it was.
Actually,
Seeing that happen to kids.
I'm sure at some point Ishtar, I do have a map in here. It's a general map area, but using navigation, could she kind of try and pinpoint where in the forest they are on the map?
No. Because one, you can't see the stars because it's often overcast. And two, you've been traveling through the Wake and Material World at unknown rates. So
It was just a question.
it's a good question. It's one of the reasons why the Gehenna Forest has not been navigated in its entire history.
I have how you can do it, though. Just use a left, and then regret it. But you would know where you are. You'd know everything around you.
So, do you guys decide to make camp here and rest?
Take a short rest, then. It's a unique situation to not have to be, like, super on edge. Even if we've rested, recently enough. It's different.
Okay.
Benwith does take the time, though, to explore around. Poke his nose a bit more places.
Oh yeah, do I still need to make a roll? Because I haven't been for the last few days we've been traveling to see if I've gotten over my cold.
No, because once you guys awaken, you find that all ailments you guys had are gone. Even Alexi's fatigue points have left or have been regained.
We all had a reduced amount, though, right?
Everyone who had a reduced amount is no longer suffering from a reduced amount. Your regeneration is doubled while resting in this area for both
Good, 'cause I need
Xeon
to do
and
that.
Key.
I was about to say, since this place is like steeped in essence, if he switches out his shifts, is it just like you accumulate faster, or does it cost less?
So essence magic in this area increases your accumulation by 10.
Oh.
Your essence increases by 10, and light is increased by 20.
Oh no, this is like the room just before the boss battle.
Yeah.
Is there a floating book or a lit up pedestal or anywhere we can save?
So like a glowing save portal. We go there, can access the menu.
There's some mysterious barrels full of health potions and meat.
Wow, these are rare outside.
What is that? Is that a shopkeeper over there?
Hey guys, I found a full restore. Time to save these until after the boss battle, because what if we still need it?
Though at least while resting, Arthur does ask Alexi, like, can you keep an eye on everything for me? I'm still a little bruised from last we fought, and I'd like to nip that in the bud. Kind of rest it off.
Don't worry, friend. I will keep you safe while you lick your wounds.
Thanks. I don't know.
And he goes for like the impact, stops, and then like jostles your shoulder.
Alright, perfect.
DM, I search for our pre-boss room loot. Nah, he just looks around. Though around the base, he will keep an eye out for any like shattered pieces of wood. He's not going to pry anything off. But if there's anything already tossed aside.
As you search around, one, you find an abundance of edible fungus, fruits, and other kinds of roughage, as it were. Unfortunately, everything this tree seems to have given has been taken.
Figured.
Including the missing log, which is probably in the wake or something.
Probably.
Who knows?
Honestly, cool place. Like, that's a cool concept.
And Richard loses his sacrificial health, or at least, like, his health is no longer considered sacrifice. Granted, his low con innate, well, not low con, but his not high regeneration means he only gets 10 hit points back rather than 5. But,
I would say pick up key healing to help the dude, but like, would you really want to?
No.
That's what I thought.
Richard is doing a lot better after resting here.
And well, Richard's not around to poke fun at it. If he does collect like any like sweeter like fruits or berries that are around, he will say thank you in case there's anything missing. Out of superstitious respect.
Okay. It's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
In case any dryads are sitting around listening. As you do so, whatever you eat is exceptionally flavorful with deep and robustness.
He doesn't overpick them, just grabs enough for everybody and takes it back. Just Baloo's back arms, like hands full, and doles out some to everybody. You'll wake up from your nap with some on your chest.
Nice. Yeah, because Arthur's actually sleeping. Like, he's trying to get these last HP. I'm 10 away from my max. I really want it back.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Arthur sleep. Guess he was holding back on how hurt he was.
Alexi accepts the strange fruits and kind of looks at him weird, but then looks at you and kind of figures you're all into that nature stuff, so he'll eat them. He doesn't know anything about fruit.
It just fucking grows up there. Fenwick's limited knowledge is like, oh, look, some from down south that hasn't gone bad yet. Eats it immediately out of the crate when they find it. Berries, however, can grow more cold hardy, so.
Yeah. But like I said, Hoffman's like fucking upper Russia.
Yep.
Yeah, there's fucking nothing out there.
We have maybe potatoes. That's
Some
pushing it.
roots, tubers.
They have turnips. They eat borscht. They're very sweet. Probably too sweet for your taste, Alexi.
Ben was not
After
gonna
a
look
few,
good for his mouth.
It's a little too much sugar, but you know, Alexi's up for hours afterwards.
You'll burn it anyway, like instantly.
By the way, Arthur, your rest here. You have no dreams.
Oh. Honestly, for Arthur, not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I can't whisper in your ear this time.
I could just,
Or, you have years of trauma.
I could just imagine a group of people just like, oh, he's sleeping. What do you think he's dreaming about? And you just hear screams and gunfire.
It's just Meet the Pyro, but like,
Yeah.
just pistol.
It's Meet the Pyro without like the whole.
Yeah, the sunny
magical,
side version, yeah.
No, it's all the reality.
We see the like sunny version as he's like twitching in his sleep, and we're like, oh, he must be dreaming about like all this wonderful, happy stuff. He must be having a great time.
He's got a big smile on his face in his sleep. His
He's
index
just
fingers are kind of
absolutely,
twitching.
Like combat rolling across the tiled floors of a Black Sun operation, just pow, pow, pow.
Blood.
He like
splatters
jumps
across
through a
his
glass
face.
window, it shatters as he like slow motion like whips out the gun and pops somebody in the head, wheels across a table, kicks a chair into someone's face. And then he wakes up at a nice, beautiful, happy clearing with some snacks.
Ishtar, you also have realized, after feeling so great, you're not hearing eldritch whispers in your ear at the moment.
Kind of like pauses for a second, takes off the sword, tries to see if she can sense magic on this, if it went away or anything.
Still magical. Still has a very dark. It's very attuned to darkness. But this region seems to have some effect anyway on it.
Time to take a nap, naughty boys.
So it's not going to be an immediate, good morning, master. I'm glad that you slept well.
Night comes, and almost surprisingly, it gets dark here. After feeling so much lightness and safety here, the concept of darkness even coming to this area seems strange. But even in the dead of night, it is as almost if moonlight is constantly shining through the boughs of the trees around, and it only becomes dim light rather than dark, with various luminescent bugs kind of flitting about. As you guys awaken, you find the ground is covered in fresh dew. The smell of fresh rain hits your nostrils, though your campsite isn't drenched. It's somewhat cold, but not unpleasant. You guys awaken feeling refreshed.
And then the quiet and calm is immediately broken by a half-bear yawn from Finlith as he stretches.
These fucking berries on me?
Oh,
I-
yeah. You should try them. They're really good.
All right.
They're really good.
Yeah, good.
Let's just have a train of everyone just like good berries.
We
Not
have to
bad.
yes and this scene, Cameron. Can we go on for 20 minutes about how good these berries are?
Paint in vivid detail the flavor of these.
Yeah, it's not very often we get sweets that isn't, something just honeyed.
By the way, secret fact: if you guys didn't get this encounter, the reason why you guys are getting slowly and slowly more and more exhausted, as it were, going through this forest, where you guys are being infected by soul scavengers. They're a type of skeletal spirit bird that perches on your shoulders, and they bring misfortune. They actually increase your botch level range by 1 point for every bird upon you.
Did we all have the same number of birds?
No, Alexi was fucking infested as shit. Because once you become infested, it reduces the resistance you have for others to perch upon you. You are all starting to get some, except for Arthur, after you guys have been drained by the succubus.
Makes sense.
I
So
think
regular people are way more at risk for this, but we normally have the presence to resist it innately.
normally you guys do, yeah. Alexi had like 5 or 6 birds upon his shoulders.
Damn, man.
So we like
with voice, I want to turn into a skeletal bird and perch on someone's shoulder.
walked in here, and then all of a sudden the
They like.
the birds got hit by like the reverse Uno card, and then the Kaiba like meme showed up or something.
Pretty much, you guys once you guys rested here, they couldn't take the positive energy of this area, and they left. So
Ugh, cringe.
Good vibes. Ew.
yeah, they're an interesting parasitic spirits that are normally invisible, obviously, but even in the wake they're invisible, and they bring misfortune to people until they die or someone dies around them, and then they feast on the soul of the person as they're dying. So
Huh. I wonder if this would have been one of the situations where like banish negative emotions is like a really solid spell.
possibly. If Richard ever used sea spirits as well, he would have noticed the birds, but it never came up.
Just gets this horrified look on his face. We're just
Oh, and he's just like, oh, gross, gross, gross. Get him off. I have spectral bird shit all down my back. Soul stains.
Alexi just looks like a statue in Central Park.
Yep.
Anywho, so fun fact that was building up on you guys, but then you guys decided to rest here and got rid of all your negative encounters. Nothing could possibly happen after this.
Yeah, obviously.
You guys are gonna meet the first lord. It's gonna be all great.
I'm still looking forward to the grandpa in shorts with the foam finger ready for us.
Yep, time for a stroll down Easy Street. Go have a beer with the First Lord and head on back.
I have this weird feeling we're gonna be slightly disappointed.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope not.
I would hope not.
I want the First Lord to be a football dad, Cameron. That's where all of my hope is lying. I hope that it turns out that doesn't turn out he's like a cool, intimidating vampire who lives in the middle of the kind of forest. I certainly hope he's not a
Hawaiian
badass.
shirt on and is sitting there grilling some hot dogs.
I hope the First Lord's like the dude from The Big Lebowski, stirring
Just
fucking white
he's just got
Russian,
vampire fangs.
stirring a cocktail with his finger that just has blood in it. A red Russian.
You guys are gonna enter, and then it's just gonna be a dream daddy scene where he just comes up on screen.
It has all the little hearts and one of the eggplant emojis.
Anywho, sweat profusely. What do you guys do?
Guess we continue on, right?
Alexi like wakes up with like just feeling a lot more lively. Just
Your
feeling kind of
shoulder
down.
feels way lighter than it ever has.
I've gotten stronger. That's clearly the reason.
Pupa just gives you a weird look, just shrugs.
How are you feeling, Professor?
Thank you. Also, I'm doing well. He looks only slightly sunken and sallow.
This poor man, we'd have to be here for several days before he even gets close to fully recovering.
I mean, he just doesn't have a very strong constitution. He heals like a normal human.
We should place that at a 6 or a 7.
Excuse me, sir, have you considered not being garbage? Maybe take a advantage that doubles your total hit points.
Anywho. So you guys continue on. As you guys are leaving the forest, you can tangibly, each of you, despite your inclinations before, feel the darkness of the forest coming back.
Yeah, we were slowly getting used to it, like getting deeper before. We just temporarily broke the surface and dove straight back in.
And as you guys move further and further away from the tree, you guys get nauseous a little bit. Not too much. Just you question whether the berries were good or not for a moment, but the overwhelming feeling of darkness around you is a very distinct and opposite feeling as before. You guys get minor cases of aether shock.
What does that do?
Nothing. Unless you're an elemental.
Oh, darn. Secretly all this time.
I can tell you what a major case does.
Oh, it turns out I was actually that genie you guys met in the previous campaign this whole time, having my journey as part of the wish.
And yes, major aether shock can cause a spellcaster to stop being able to cast spells or kill you.
What does minor do? Like if to an elemental?
Depending on whether they're attuned to one element or another. If a light elemental was to go into, like, go from an area of high to like the forest and moth, they'd suffer an all penalty of -10 for a while as they're adjusting.
So, like, if you were in the Forest of Gehenna and you summoned a light elemental, for example, like, slam dunking them into this would give them that penalty?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then
Which is why the birds left you guys, because they're the opposite. So when they came into that area, they got minor aether shock and left. For you guys, it's just a mild discomfort. If one of you guys was a very attuned to the tree of light or essence, you'd also be suffering penalties right now as well.
Luckily, I've only got 2 spell.
Serena actually might be a character who would suffer some aether shock.
That'd probably suck.
Good thing she's dealing with vampire intrigue in a family instead of having to walk through here.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that a good thing?
I don't know, she didn't have to deal with the succubus. That would have been interesting.
I don't know. Well, that's also fair.
She just looks at the succubus. Can you turn into a lumberjack? The succubus immediately takes psychic damage and leaves.
I don't think she would.
No,
she'd be into that, and then none of y'all would be. Things are going a very bad way very fast, and Radovan would die due to cardiac arrest.
Yes, he would.
My sweet flower. It's peak.
Serena has aether shock. Radovan just has shock.
Take me as tribute.
But anyway, yeah, none of you guys are closely attuned to any element, really. for it to really matter all too much.
Except Iceman over there.
Even he's not overly attuned.
Not particularly, no.
That's fair. It's just like manifested key stuff and your weapon.
Though, admittedly, a lot of his techniques are tied to water. So, but I don't think that's a
Because I know there's like some advantages and stuff like that that you can take that'll do that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
Yeah.
anyway,
If you took like one of the Kami bloodlines for a particular element, that'd probably cause a similar effect. But for most normal people, it's just as you guys are traversing, it's kind of like being in a hot tub and jumping into a pool. It's just really, really cold, and there's that shock value at first. But
your
after
mic
a
just
little
got
bit-
really muffled, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
It just sounded like you were talking underwater.
How about now?
Fine.
Better.
Weird.
Dunno.
Internet issue, probably.
Perhaps.
But yeah, like I said, if you're like sitting in a hot tub and jump into a pool, there's that cold shock.
All
But
right.
after you
Well,
get
it was
used to
too
it-
nice there, so that means it's got to get too bad here. He like straightens up, cracks all of his knuckles.
Arthur sends out his key detection again.
Okay.
Alexia as well. Though, can't beat a half mile, but we could. Yeah.
It's he feels useful. I can key detect too.
I can also magic detect. Mer, 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 mer.
Cry about it.
I know why my mic got muffed suddenly. My phone was on Bluetooth mode, and so it was taking my headset away from me.
Huh.
I mean, when I had to use the earbuds for a little bit, yeah, my phone did that too.
So, as you guys continue forward, you guys traverse for a good distance, and as you do, the forest begins to return to that dark, slightly twisted nature that reminds you when you guys first entered. The grass becomes dark, greasy. The trees become more and more dark and less lively looking. The bark becomes darker. You start coming across more patches where the trees have just kind of either died out or never grew in the first place. Openings. When Arthur, at his half-mile range, notices some particularly powerful sources of energy, about 7 of them, at the edge of your range.
Ah, shit.
Yes.
It's about like half-mile away, but there are 7 very powerful things over there.
There's an immediately like keening whine from Finwith as he looks over at everybody. Is it in the way? Is it between us and like where we gotta go?
Does it seem that way?
You guys don't know. You've just been traveling in the forest with no direction. The only reassurance is that you've not run into the same layer, it feels like, twice.
And then we also got like some minor directions from the Lord of Death.
Whatever that means from a Wake perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
Follow the darkness. Also, here's this key. Holds key. What does it do? I don't know. Bye. Your problem now. Rather than wait.
Actually,
Yeah.
that was a good question. Could I just try and inspect the key to see if anything's changed?
You do so. Looking it over, it's an elegantly designed Gothic-style key made of some kind of black metal. Looks cool. That's about all you get out of it.
Okay. No.
You pulling that out and like 14 things in the forest just whip their heads that way.
Oops.
Unknowingly, it has like an aggro range.
Suddenly, something at a high speed enters from a high altitude above you guys.
Something's coming.
Perks up, accumulates.
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 So he does kind of shift posture to be a bit more in front and ahead of. Since Arthur's normally leading, he kind of gestures for you back towards the two casters.
He happily does so.
Yeah.
As it gets closer and closer, eventually it comes into Alexi's range. You have the 800, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's still flying at a pretty high altitude. Arthur would know that it doesn't necessarily feel as dangerous as the other energy signs do.
He also doesn't know how high up they are. Then we just got something coming.
It also doesn't. Well, I guess that would be Arthur's question to ask.
As he's
Well,
like,
you can
what
feel it
question?
There's another flying thing that you sensed at one point.
Oh yeah. Does this feel like the other thing I sensed? The big bird that was very scary
The
looking?
god awful crow thing.
Is this like the same?
No. One, you couldn't sense that thing.
Good point.
So,
Fair.
So I'll point
That's-
immediately disproven.
moderately better.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
wouldn't be able to tell if it was directly behind us. Or
As
sitting on
it's
our shoulders like
flying-
other creepy birds.
As this thing is flying over, you guys can barely, it's very difficult to see in the crooked branches that seem to be reaching out to the sky, and this mesh of black mottled wood. You guys can see what looks to be a bird-like entity flying several hundred feet above the ground.
Does it look like it's coming to us?
It's going in your guys' direction, but it's not like dive bombing y'all.
Ready for gun.
Alexi will ready his weapon.
Is it just the one?
Just
The
the
other
one.
stuff move at all?
Nope. As it flies overhead,
Might just be skeleton.
suddenly, you guys hear an ear-piercing, loud screech that sounds somewhat bird-like, except for the human-like tone to it that increases in volume as it goes, going from like the it's horrifying to say the least.
I love me a bird that sounds like a
I
person.
do that!
As it does so, Arthur, you realize that those energy signatures from earlier have now turned course and are making for an intercept
Did I call it?
But towards us or the bird?
towards you. Well, both, yes, because the bird is
Alright.
flying overhead. So yes,
Alright,
So
those,
as soon as it says, is it scouting? Shrieks.
those 7 energy are coming this way now. They're walking over.
Walking or running?
Running.
Oh no.
Well, I guess we got some time as he focuses on accumulating. Stretches out. He heard very powerful from man who shoots things dead one time.
I don't like that there's 7 of them.
as you guys are getting ready. Now, to put in frame of reference, this bird thing flies at about a speed of 12. Has a 12 movement speed. Very, very fast.
Pretty solid.
These things. Oh, actually, I have a really good idea. Hold up.
Oh.
I didn't think about this at first, but I have a map that we couldn't use for this.
Ah.
Watch this thing be that like flying demon that you released onto the world.
Oh no, I don't have the map. Oh, I'm sad I deleted it. I was gonna use my bear forest that I made for you guys before. Sigh, never mind. That's very disappointing. I remember I deleted it because I wanted to keep the keep it nice and simple and make it not hard for Roll20 to load everything every time for everyone. Dang.
The maps don't do too much damage in that regard. I have so many maps in the Out of the Abyss campaign still, and in the archives.
I mean, they do a fair amount. When I was doing Rise of the Rune Lords, you guys knew how long that took you guys. That had like 20 maps. And I'd love to make it again, but it would take too much time.
Alas.
Alas. Poor Yorick. It's okay. At the level you guys are anyway, maps are fucking useless. GM, I got 300 feet away. The map isn't that big. GM, I knocked this enemy 70 feet away.
Have fun waiting a turn for them to crawl their ass back.
Anywho, as these things are approaching, they're moving pretty fast, but they seem to be moving at like a marching pace in your guys' direction.
Well, unfortunately, there's like I don't know if there's any cool place we can stay to get them. Can't really jump by
Unfortunately,
them.
the area is lightly speckled with trees. And as you guys are kind of getting ready, again, the bird thing, whatever it may be, lets out another horrifying call as it circles overhead.
And we're not seeing like a very distinct form of the bird, huh?
No, it's hundreds of feet above the ground, and you guys are looking at it through a canopy. Though, something you guys do notice, as these things are getting closer, you see various plumes of smoke rising from the woods.
Ah. Fun.
Based on how fast they're moving and his like sensor, how long do we have?
Yeah.
As much time as you guys need, as they were a half a mile away.
Yeah.
Fair.
uh,
And in fact, they might be exhausted by the time they get here.
That's why they're just walking. Like, oh.
If they needed to rest, sure.
Now I'm tempted. Seeing plumes of smoke. Because I could get a whole lot of fire reduction.
So, tell me what you guys would like to prepare before this fight. They have to traverse 2,000 something feet to get to you guys. Even at just like an elevated marching pace, it's still going to take well over 10 turns for them to get to you all. So
Arthur is going to. Is there like a fun vantage point on top of one of the trees? Maybe that he can see?
there's no good vantage points. None of the trees look like they're capable. Well, I guess, but the canopy is somewhat thick.
Yeah.
As much as climbing into one of these trees would get you out of normal harm's way, granted, that's not saying whatever these things are couldn't hit you from there.
Yeah.
If anything, you would just be limiting your ability to dodge climbing a tree.
Fair.
It's a flat forest, unfortunately, so.
Then Arthur's going to try to hide somewhere and accumulate ki.
Okay,
So he
make
can.
a hide roll.
Alright. He wants to be able to, when these things get close, start accumulating so he can summon his guns and fucking barrel shot immediately.
Do the plumes of smoke seem like it's like fire and less so like something else?
I don't know how you would differentiate the two.
Fair.
It looks like smoke. If you are asking particularly, it's very dark, thick smoke. Well. You hide behind the tree with half your torso leaning out behind it. Unfortunately, the lean mechanic doesn't work quite that way.
Damn. It's like all those FPS games that let you lean. Somehow the enemies don't see your whole ass fucking head.
And then you go to a game where they definitely do.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that in Dishonored where like the enemy's like really close. It's like close to you, and you're just peeking over, and they're like looking right at you, like I don't see that shit. Must have been the rats.
All right. So as far as you guys getting ready, Arthur has declared that he is getting enough ki to summon his guns and use barrel shot as soon as he sees some enemies.
Fenwith wouldn't know anything else it could be, and so would assume and has not used it. So he's actually going to reach into the mane and begin to tug away the fur as he's going to shed the regular bear shape. And his skin is going to begin to darken and rise as it seems to like harden and grow in these fine curling grains with a dark iron gray tone. As he's going to use the Gestalt totem.
Okay.
Ishtar's going to save enough Xeon to cast Shield of Salvation at advanced level.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Fenwith? Anything else you'd like to charge up for?
Yeah, I didn't get the chance. I'm also going to accumulate for the acquire powers. This is probably gonna suck, so I should probably go with Kongsbjorn.
Okay.
Alexei will just begin accumulating when they hit about the 100-foot range.
How much would you like to accumulate for? What would you guys like to... I need to know exactly what you guys are saving for and planning on using, because you guys have literally enough time to do whatever you want. So I need to know where your guys' plans end, more or less.
Oh, he's just gonna do the initial setup of Kollinger when the battle looks like it's about to begin.
Just Kollinger? Nothing else?
No, nothing in particular.
Okay. So Fenwith prepares Kongsbjorn. Ishtar prepares an advanced Shield of Salvation. Arthur's preparing gun / barrel shots.
Ripley's excited, so we're preparing for initiative.
Yep. literally as Cameron was describing, asking what we do for this combat, she started getting really hyper.
Father, I finally sense violence.
Richard, seeing you all like get super prepped, and just the forebodingness of, you know, man bird in the sky. He is going to remove the cloaking device from Ishtar's bag.
Yeah, fair.
She has to hand it to him. Anyone that pulls into the bag outside of Ishtar, they get a random item.
Then he'll ask you for it.
She'll pass it to him.
Okay.
He gets
I was about to say,
aggressive.
I guess you could just fuck him over right now.
Just like pulls in, gets around mad. I'm like, wrong one. Try again. Just try again. Like, maybe you'll get it next time. Just have them take out your entire inventory to find it.
Constantly pulling like handfuls of coins. Like, where the hell did these come from?
Maybe this is what you get for acting like an asshole.
And he is going to prepare enough Xeon to use spectral form and spectral form. He doesn't know if these are undead. Oh wait, no, he knows they're not undead because Arthur can sense them.
Wouldn't sense.
So he is instead going to prepare spectral form and vampire stigma.
Vampire stigma.
It's a really cool spell.
You hit people and you get to heal for some of the damage that you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool ability. It sounds like a really edgy early 2000s game.
I mean, it's a necromancy spell. What do you want?
Yeah.
But as you are all ready, let's see here. Let's change the music, shall we?
Is there a formation we wanted for this, or
Me
I
nothing from
imagine everybody else slightly behind us. We don't want Arthur by himself, and you and me meet shielding up front.
Ishtar mentions that the shield should probably have a 300-foot radius, so you're good to move around.
So Finwith does kind of look at you and Alexi, and he's like, "If you think we can stop multiple, like right here, I want to see just how many I could hit at once." Crack! It's not really good. It's not as loud this time because he's already done it.
after having fought you before, I think we can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, but come on, we haven't gotten like a. I don't know. It's not even. It's still not like a good one-on-one with something that could take us in this forest, but like, it's kind of amped up. A bunch of people told me there was cool stuff in here. Kind of want a piece of them. Hoping these ones are good.
As you guys watch, the plumes of smoke get closer and closer. And you realize that 5 of the individuals have broken ahead of one of them and are going to come into vision essentially a round or two before the 6th does.
Make sure whatever one isn't here, the other ones don't wrap around.
I'll know if he does.
If they start doing any fun stuff from a distance, take them out.
Did you need to take a break, Alex?
I mean, I gotta go to the bathroom, and this combat's gonna take seems like a bit. So, that's why I suggested it.
Do we want to take our 10-minute break now, or do we want to break for like a very short-term bathroom break?
Other reason I bring it up is because we are halfway through.
That's
We're currently an hour and a half. Well, I guess close to halfway through. So yeah, we can do that now. As combat is starting, let me describe what you guys see and pop it on screen for y'all. As you guys watch the plumes of smoke get closer, you see beings that are discharging flames and smoke to the points where they are mostly obscured. The only thing you do notice is what look to be fiery claws and skulls as they're rapidly approaching, screaming otherworldly and ferociously. A strong sense of immense rancor and anger emanates from these things. Even those who are not particularly keen on such things can sense this.
Well, you might have to use your wind wall.
Also, don't be afraid to beam the alarm system at any point, Alex.
Pick it off before it can run.
The bird.
Just bird thing. Just
Oh, okay. I was like, the fuck kind of ability are you referring to?
I mean, you could have taken pot shots at it while we were waiting.
Kind of. That's fair. I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know.
That's fair.
Well, you thought you were Solid Snake in it, so.
I did. I wanted to be sneaky. I found like a little box somewhere. I was hiding under it, but like my entire foot.
He's just got one of our sleeping bags over him.
Yeah, I read this in a book once. Like, put a hood over your head, you're just immediately incognito. No one knows who you are.
If it were a key ability, maybe it would work like that.
That's how like magical people get away in like the holy city is they just throw a hood up over their head and like march with prayer people.
Oh, it's that one.
As you guys see 5 of these rapidly approaching you.
Ooh.
A buddy, a boy, and a friend.
I know all those demon pictures. I know all the demons in that.
I
area.
wonder
What-
why.
Yeah, I wonder why. No reason.
So, that in mind, we're going to go ahead and
I'll
take
bear
a
its
break.
buddies aside.
I'm pretty sure I've summoned that one too.
Maybe once.
I think once.
Anyway, we'll be back.
I bet you we could challenge these guys to one-on-one matches, and they'll do it.
Easily, of course.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because as they're busting out of the tree, almost intelligently, each one seems to pick one of you as a target and begins pursuing you specifically. Running at an intense speed, as they have a movement value of 12, now that their prey is within sight. They quickly clear the sight gap towards you guys. Though you guys have enough time to get off your techniques to start the combat off anyway.
All right. Guns and barrel shot. Here we go.
Shield is up.
Jabber motherfucker is running directly at Finwith, gets to watch as he cracks and shifts, and this time it's more solid because the like metal wood grain actually like rips into like shreds as if a tree were shredding as he grows to the immense Kongsbjorn size before it seams back in with new growth and over like particularly large like muscled areas there are like roots almost like veins that kind of curl around connecting the like heavier plates of bark as a big old metal wood bear man looms over one.
Alexei just kind of swings out his blade, and a whole bunch of moisture is pulled from the air and coalesces across his body as he activates his ice armor.
You're gonna be steaming in a couple seconds.
Ishtar sends
Richard sits there as his body becomes cloaked in what appears to be eldritch flames. As his body begins to lift off the ground and his skin becomes somewhat transparent as he becomes spectral. And his body is surrounded in necroflame, though he gives off a strong cold rather than...
Not necroflame. We're not an all undead party in Divinity 2 this time.
Also, yeah, Groovy died. Hopefully
Groovy
Groovy
couldn't
comes
take
back.
the necromancy. Groovy just took the necromancy and went
It
down.
was so edgy and was like, fuck them. It's bad enough that I'm sure Groovy has to DJ for Vampire the Masquerade parties and stuff. This was just the final straw.
As he does this, he motions, and he is going to pick Alexei. You see some spontaneous sparks of reddish energy begin to emanate around your weapon as he gives you Vampire Stigma.
Ooh.
You are the chosen one.
So for all intents and purposes, you gain 10% of damage you deal back itself. Yeah, Groovy's dead for the time being. Unfortunate.
Ah, damn.
So now we can give it finally to Arthur. As you unleash your barrel shot as they're running in at breakneck speed.
You were going to cast a spell, right, Ishtar?
Yeah, she was just unleashing spectral dragons that wrapped around everyone before vanishing.
That was the
Effect of the Shield of Salvation. So you
Oh,
guys
nice.
are good for 300 feet from where Ishtar is.
What does that do again?
It pretty much is a shield that has collective life point, and at the advanced level, I can protect up to 8 people without penalty, and the shield has a life point of 1,500.
Nice. So, do I just get my revolver, my barrel shot off, not my full attack action?
No, it's kind of like a surprise run. The only reason why you're getting to do this is because it's a range attack and you're hitting them as soon as they come in.
Yep.
All
right,
So you
well-
summon the guns and you make your barrel shot.
Here comes all of my
By the
attack.
way, their bodies are clouded in immense amounts of smoke, making it hard for you to target individual parts of their body. For all intents and purposes, your range attacks have a negative 30 penalty.
Luckily, I'm making a lot. All right. Oh, first attack. Just
Quantity
my
over
regular attack.
That's what Arthur's always said.
Actually, I'll give you a choice. Either take a negative 30 or they don't have a range penalty to dodge. The math works out the same either way.
No, then just so I don't forget, I gotta say I'll take the rage penalty.
Okay.
All right. Well, first, just regular attack. These dice have betrayed me. They used to roll consistently 80s, and now they're rolling a lot of 20s. First attack is 232.
Got a
My dice rolled
209.
garbage. It's over 200.
Let me see here. Got 209. So you got a little. So 20% of your damage.
24.
24. All right. So the one that's approaching you takes 24 damage. I'm gonna have to open a new notepad.
And here comes the barrel shot.
Okay.
All right, I'm changing these fucking dice. These dice are rolling. I've been rolling garbage.
What'd
for
you
the
roll?
past- I rolled a 9 on the dice, so 219.
Okay. It's gonna make it second. Let me double check to make sure it has nothing about its defense.
Strangely, on the initial shot of Arthur, I couldn't help but hear the. I forget what the song's name is, but it's like. Wah wah bam shalam bam. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know.
I can't remember what that song's called though.
All right. So the first shot flies by, nicking this thing. You can see it staggering somewhat, but seems to be moving regardless. The second shot, at a minus 30 for it, it gets a 196. And you got. Make sure you're putting
219.
your combat rolls
of
in the
course.
chat, please. That
No.
was a 219, right? So that's going to be slightly. It's going to be another 24 damage.
All right.
Next shot.
Sorry, I had to upend my dice bag to get new dice. Let's try a new set. Better. 254.
Okay. It got a 134. So that is going to be a difference of 120. So 120% of your damage.
All right. 144.
144. You make a shot that seems to hit dead in the center of the smoke. It stops for a moment, but then keeps moving after being staggered.
Okay, I just needed to. You were talking about fucking Black Betty. All right,
I found it.
it's a good song. All right, third shot.
Okay.
There we go. 297.
Okay, it has a negative 70. So it got a yeah. So 297, one more shot, and the smoke dies away as the total upper torso of this thing has been decimated. It has died.
Shifts his aim to the one that's chasing. Looks like it's going to be running after Ishtar. Fourth shot. All right.
Man, Groovy has checked out. Actually, Groovy is not even. Groovy left the Discord for some reason.
What?
Interesting.
I mean, I
happens
see it in the
sometimes.
server, but
Is
Or
it
not
a
like
server?
it's offline.
Is
At,
that
like,
the
the bottom
Z
bar.
bot at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind.
Server.
Okay, I thought. Okay, sorry about that then. What'd you get?
331.
Type it in the chat.
Yep. I open rolled, not crazy high, but open rolled.
All right. Since this is the first time this one is being strucken at, it got a 209 because of the range penalty for dodging. So that's going to be 130% of your damage.
Are you just taking bites out of a whole ass chicken?
Pork chop.
Pork chop.
Okay, I can't see it. It's like super round looking from the angle you keep holding it, so it looks like you're just pulling up like an entire one of those what are they
Rotisserie
called?
chickens.
What did you say, Suzanne?
The Cornish game hen. Turkey.
Yes, it looked like a Cornish hen, like you were just picking up a whole fucking one. Just taking bites out of it, not even using utensils except to hold it to your mouth.
156 damage.
You were a little too
156.
into Viking character.
Another one, another shot. This one cleaves through this thing's shoulder, causing its sculling arm to hit the ground. But it doesn't divert and it continues going.
5th shot.
You're a fucking monster.
241.
182. So that's going to be just under 60, 50% of your damage.
60.
Okay, that one goes down. As another shot goes through, cleaving through the collarbone, sending the creature down.
And aiming for the one going after Richard.
Ishtar does give a slight nod as thanks to get for the one getting off her.
Got to keep all these things off our casters.
Squishies. And like I imagine in another game, maybe with another table, people would be pissed at how much like damage you can dole out, but it's just so satisfying watching you roll 400 times just taking shit out left and right.
232.
193. So just shy of 40, so 30% of your damage.
All right.
Oh, hey Alex, want to be famous?
Yes.
You can buy followers, primes, and viewers.
Farewell. Oh no, you removed the ban. I banned them at the same time.
Oh no. I thought you were rolling dice.
No, I saw red, Cameron. My duty is your mod. I channeled Arthur a little too hard in my modding. I'm sorry.
Alex's ban hammer is smite.
I think you can go into the chat
I did.
and ban him.
Yeah. All right. That was my final barrel shot. So now my offhand shot. As I did 36 damage for that attack.
36.
That one I just did. Yep.
And your offhand shot, so minus 10.
$244.
It's gonna be minus 55 for this one. Still not bad. That's gonna be a 194. So exactly 50 off, so 50% of your damage.
60.
60. Okay, so 36 plus 60 is 96.
And second attack.
Oh, right, because you're level over, yes.
Over
So
100.
that's going to
and
be,
then I can do.
or over 200, you mean, yes.
Yep.
So that's going to be, oh, no, yeah. Right,
Yeah.
you're over 200, right? So you get.
I am. I get 3 attacks.
You
Three.
get 3 attacks. Oh, my God.
Yes.
So you attack.
I love that I can say, yeah, second
9
attack after I
times.
shoot 8 times. Yeah.
So this one's going to be at minus 25 for you.
Yep. Not great. I'm rolling a lot of 20s tonight. I don't know what the fuck's going on. 208.
An open roll into, even with a minus 70,
Oof.
250 something. So
Damn.
it gets hit, and as it tumbles to the ground, you fire through the smoke again, but you realize you missed. And you're subtracting 30 from all these, correct?
I thought you were. That was the decision we made. For that, you weren't taking the range penalty.
No, I asked you, and you said, so I don't forget.
No, I said yeah, just
penalty.
don't take away the range penalty. That's
No, you said your very words were, so I don't forget, I'll take away the range penalty.
Yeah, I assume that meant, the minus they get for dodging a bullet on your end.
Okay. Then 1 second here. I need to recalculate some damage here. Because that means they all got 30 more. So let's see here. All right. We'll just count 2 being dead and the one on Richard is still clean.
Yeah.
That will fix all the math.
Yes.
So dodge that attack, last attack from you, minus 50.
Okay. And
it is going to be at minus 30.
Don't mean to minus 30
minus
that?
50. No. You're good. I will adjust now.
Cool.
So now that I am aware. Oh, hey, look, in our open roll.
Hey, look, a really shit roll.
You didn't say the name, did you, Alex?
I didn't. I think it's just because it's Richard, and Arthur's like, this guy's kind of a dick. I care more about his shot.
Nah, that's fair.
166.
Man, Groovy is just dead.
We can only see half of Devin now.
A good thing we have a necromancer NPC who can just raise it from the dead.
I'm not fully in it, guys. I actually got 2 people with that one. Holy fuck.
Such a stupid joke.
I think Groovy's just dead.
Damn.
I wanted to do my scene setting. God damn it.
There we go. I'm more or less in the thing now.
Modern problems
Okay.
require modern solutions.
So, the second shot also misses. As this one is, the smoke is just creating this very amorphous target. You know its general location, but because they're mostly skeletons, it's very hard to pinpoint any kind of like large enough target on these things.
Super fair.
And so after the key technique goes off, your additional shots after that are just not able to keep up. Before it was just damage by numbers. You're just going, and they were getting shot down. But these ones not so much. So that being the case, that means 2 are down. The one on Ishtar and the one on Arthur. There's still 3 coming, plus 1 other thing. As I need y'all to roll initiative. Oh yes, as these things are running in, double voice echoing in. I love that.
Now I want you guys to remember that sound, carve it into your minds, because when I rip out a piece of those, you're gonna have to imagine Finn was half making that noise.
Nice.
Purposefully to upset Kin, probably.
If they don't
Poor kid.
automatically turn into sludge.
It's the Gehenna Forest. It's not like it was the prison.
To
Nice.
Finwith's glee, the burning arm that Arthur had shot off earlier is still there.
Could they leave behind pieces? That's the worst. Get bait and switch. You have this huge fight, and then everything just woofs away in shadows. Or it starts rotting, and you're like, oh no, oh no. And then the bones stay, and then the bones attack. But then the bones stay, so it's okay.
Now, Finwith needs from this encounter is that darn bird that was the alarm.
It's alright, he can shoot at it.
It's currently circling overhead.
You can't tell me it doesn't want a piece of this. If not, I'll just grow wings and go after it. I can
Okay.
outpace it.
We have an all-terrain Finwith.
So,
Actually, I don't have an aquatic form yet.
Keyword yet.
starting off with the Ignis, as they got a 180 something on their initiative.
Fair.
So, starting off with the
Almost
one
fair.
on Richard is going to make its attacks. As these things are very fast. You've seen skeletons maybe before. These things are a whole nother beast. More like predatory animals than they are like skeletal creatures. Comes running in and is going to make an attack.
Ishtar does have the shield up.
Yep.
So
Maybe spooky, scary skeletons mixed with Through the Fire and Flames would have been a better song.
That sounds like a badass mashup. It's always the weirdest like combinations that people actually manage to make sound the best.
I mean, fucking X Gonna Give It To You and Call Me Maybe is like unironically really fucking good.
So are literally all of the Bubblegum Bitch remixes
Yes.
or mashups.
Hey,
Yay.
Groovy came back. Ah, okay. Perfect. As you go to like attempt to defend him, he just motions as the thing comes up and its claw passes through his body. As
He's some spectrally fiery dude.
can't damage energy, surprisingly. And as it passes through his body, it needs to make a physical resistance check. Let's see, and the target number is 160. Oof. Let's see, I rolled a 57. Bum, ba, bum, ba. So that's 117. Not close enough. The difference between those two. All right. It takes 21 points of damage, and it has an all-action penalty of 21. As it wrenches its claw through, it hisses and it monitors him. Its jaw drops down, and there's this intense heat that comes from it. As suddenly, Richard's body becomes engulfed in flame with a massive explosion. But after the flames die down, he seems unharmed.
Mage supremacy.
Spectral form, it's really good.
He's like he's an archmage and not one of the NPCs we normally have toting around with us.
To be fair, it's surprising, but these things actually can't damage energy. Strange enough. They're
I just
very
mean like
deadly
having
otherwise.
fancy spells and all the Xeon to throw around for them. Normally NPCs who travel with us are in a lot more danger.
It's fair. So that being the case, it used both of its actions. The next one is going to be on Finwith.
Yay!
As it runs up, sees your massive form, leaps an inhuman amount up your torso and scratches.
Oh, that's
you can
exciting.
feel an super heat coming from its claws. So that's going to be 228 to hit.
And I don't have the shield on it.
You do. You can either defend or Ishtar can block for you.
I don't really need it, so it's funner if he gets hurt. He doesn't mind. So
True.
he'll just 280.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's an open roll. That's a 96. Oh. Alright, well, it's a 299. So 280.
299. Type it in the chat. Versus it's 128. Oh, sorry, 280.
Because it camps. Arthur didn't teach me Zen yet.
Do you have Inhumanity?
Not yet.
Inhumanity caps at 320.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm thinking then.
So 299, all right. Versus 128, that is going to be a difference of 71. So you can counter with a plus 35.
Yes, I shall do so. And it was plus 25 or 35?
35.
Alright,
I rolled
then
the
it's
same
going
thing
to be...
twice. $312 counter. All right, it got to 228 again. So that is going to be a difference of just shy of 80, so 70% of your damage. Its strength is 11, so plus 20. Or plus however many your martial arts does.
Yeah, it does double its plus mine.
So then plus 40.
That feels wrong. That feels incorrect. Base damage, plus my strength, plus the key bonus, plus its strength. And its strength's a 20 bonus. Alright, yeah, I
Yes.
guess it's just been a while since I've got to counter. God, that's a 175.
175 base or 175 at
Base.
Okay.
So, how much percent was that?
That was a 70%.
Alright, 70% of my damage is 122.
122. As you strike into the creature, you find that its bones feel like searing hot rods. I need you to make a physical resistance check for me, please.
Does my fire reduction do anything?
Is it base reduction in damage or fire AT?
It is base damage reduction.
Then it will, depending on your physical resistance check.
And if it's pain based, I have the half thing. $139.
Okay, you're fine. You out-tough the fire as you strike it.
Yeah.
You hit it, and there's a crunching sound as, despite its kind of iron-like body, your massive fist just drives into it.
Which is also
bending-
iron.
Yeah, bending some of the more like extraneous bits.
So as it kind of
as
like
hits-
launches, he to like whip its own momentum against it, he just kind of swats it down as he steps aside.
As you do so, it hits the ground and, without missing a beat, like a spring, leaps back at you as it's going to attack you again.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a minus 30 for you. Minus 25 for it. That's going to be a 223.
222.
Almost matched.
Almost.
All right.
It's a satisfying
Uh,
number.
As it scrapes across you, you can feel, again, as it, like hot iron ripping through your skin, which protects you for the most part from its damage. But you can see that it's so superheated. Are you wearing any armor?
No, at this point it's only the like the bear form.
Okay. Then if you're not wearing any armor, you notice that the section that it cut through, despite being made of this gestalt wood, was shorn through. These things seem like they're not going to be friendly to anyone they touch. Last but not least is the one on Alexi. Comes up, bounding in on you, super fast, tries to cleave your torso. It's going to be a 218.
Oof, that is a 199. I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4.
Yeah.
Jesus. As it strikes through, you have your ice armor on, right?
Ice armor. And I technically also have fur and armored long coat as well.
Okay. As you're watching, it strikes through, and it's cutting through. The steam is coming off of your armor, and you can see as its claws are kind of digging in somewhat. What is the fortitude of your armor?
I did not write those down. 1 second.
Should be easy enough. God
There he
damn
goes
it,
again.
Ruby.
No.
Just can't stand it. Alright,
Take the
armor
heat.
section. Let's see. So the armored long coat has 10 and the fur armor has 10.
Okay. As it cuts through your ice armor, it barely nicks your armored long coat. And as it does so, its claws just cut through it like butter. It has a breakage of 20. Let me see. Gotta look at breakage real quick. It's been a while since we've gone through breakage. Yeah, okay, so he just rolls against your fortitude. That's rather unfortunate because your armor is not that durable. Your armored long coat becomes a -5 long coat as he cuts through it. As he has a breakage value of 26 on that roll.
Okay, let me recalculate some stuff.
Which reduces its AT by 1 down to 0. If it was yeah, reduces its AT by 1 down to 0.
Okay, they lowered a couple of things by 1.
Okay. And then after that attack, it's going to come in with another cleave. That's going to be minus 30 for you, minus 25 for it. It got a 175.
This is a 258.
Do you block or dodge?
I block.
What is the fortitude of your weapon?
Magic.
Doesn't mean it's invincible. It
Nope.
means it's really, really high.
I believe it's +5 per, or is it +10?
It's 10 fortitude per.
That's going to be a 45.
45, okay. It can't possibly break your weapon. Even at a max roll. And what was the result you got? I'm sorry, you didn't put in chat.
258.
Okay. It got 175. So as it hits your weapon, you can see its hot claws beginning to heat up the metal of your blade, but its innate cool iciness is counteracting its superheated claws. That will allow you a counter of let's see, the difference is 80 to plus 40.
All right. Yeah, he'll make this attack cold, so I'll also take a -10 to it.
Okay.
281.
It got a 204. So just shy of 80, 70% over.
That'll be 98 points of damage.
98.
And a whole bunch of.
Indeed. As you strike into it, the creature howls a bit and jumps back. It didn't seem to like the cold, but it doesn't seem extra hurt by it.
Okay.
That is all of them. Finally, we can get up to Ishtar.
So many options.
So long as it includes not getting touched by one of them, as you can see, glowing lines raked into the middle bark skin on Finwith. Don't do it.
Richard is on deck, followed by Arthur.
Well, these guys seem to like a warm temperature. Let's try and make this a little bit unbearable for them. And she's
Upset
going-
noise at your bear puns. It's kind of insensitive.
Fenwith is right there. Jesus.
God, what are you gonna do? Call the barbarian next?
No.
Barbarian?
Richard in the background. Why didn't I think of that?
She is going to cast Create Chill at an immediate level, which makes it a 3 intensity.
Okay.
And that is what she's going to do. And while it doesn't specify an area, she's more aiming in the area that these things are currently.
Let's see. The spell creates one because it's a targeted effect. You're essentially targeting creatures with cold intensities.
Alright, she's picking the one then that attacked Fenwith.
Okay. So this is a ranged spell. So same thing with Arthur. Do you want me to remove the range penalty for it, or do you want to put the range penalty on your projection?
More stuff for him to remember, obviously.
I will have you remove.
Okay, so I'm not removing anything. Alex did the same thing. Anyway.
I'm not taking the minus 30.
Okay, so it is just not going to have a penalty for dodging it.
Yep,
Okay,
that's fair.
so go ahead and make a magic projection. This is going to be the third attack against it, which means it's at a minus 50. Not good for it. A 125.
That is a 162.
Okay. You hit because it's not innately. Oh, I guess it is. You hit it. Your base damage is essentially 15 for this, and you beat it by a little less than 40. So 30% of 15, which is 4. Yep. I don't know unless the Spanish book has anything more. I don't think
No,
it
I
did, though.
checked. It didn't.
So its immediate area drops to a point where it takes 4 points of damage. All right. There's that. Next is going to be the good professor.
Yeah.
Lawful neutral.
I say he's more on like the chaotic neutral side of things.
Oh my god, he's a problematic D&D character.
Seeing as these things aren't innately that dangerous, especially as it cannot really affect him all too much. Because he has just enough Xeon to do it, why not? He's going to use Soul Beam! Going to shoot. Whom. That's going to be a 245 versus its.
Just makes a neil sound.
$245 versus 138. Awesome. That's gonna be
A little less than 100.
a little less than 100. Which means it's gonna do 90% of his damage, which is going to be 90. There's just this wah sound as he strikes this thing. It takes a good amount of damage, but it's still up. All right. Next is Arthur.
All right. Arthur accumulates. And using Sensing Key, because we've killed, I think, 2 of them.
2, yes.
And there were 7 total. How many of them are currently, because I know some held back. Can Arthur sense where they are?
5 came out after us.
It's still approaching. It's not within
Okay.
eyesight at the moment.
It had 2 rounds.
Okay, cool. Well, Arthur's going to shoot the one on Richard.
Okay.
I mean, you could just leave him. It's not like it's doing anything.
Now these dice are working properly.
Not
This
to
poor
protect
one on
Richard.
has been hit so many times.
292.
Jesus. All right, one
It
second. It's got
explodes into
-90.
confetti.
Cool. Let's see. With the -90 considered, that's a 101. So that's 190% of your damage.
Does it explode into confetti
228.
It shatters into bone confetti.
and embers? Yay.
And Arthur will kind of spin his gun around, aim upward, and shoot the bird.
Okay. What is the range of your guns?
Good question.
As long as I want it to be, extendo scope appears.
Barrel extends.
What are they modeled after?
1911.
They're in Aquarius.
Arquebus. They have an 80-meter range.
I'm
That's
American. I don't
160
know what that
feet.
means. Okay.
160 feet. So, or no, 100 or 80 range. That's a. Oh goodness, 200 and something range. So, yeah, you're fine.
62.
Cool. I'm
Google
fine.
tells you many things.
Yeah, you have a 262-foot range.
Yeah, like I said, it's only,
Write that
it's
down
only a
somewhere.
couple hundred feet above you guys. So,
I probably should actually.
Mind you, I do believe ranged weapons have a soft range.
Okay, I wrote that down just in case. Alright, shooting the bird. Got excited for a second. I thought I rolled a 95. It's a 65. 265.
265. All right. Bird's gonna roll its defense. Not good. 86. So that's going to be just shy of 180 under or over. So 170% of your damage.
204.
As you fire the shot up, you hear as it drops out of the sky.
Just one shot it.
It wasn't very strong. It's just a
Fair. Oh well.
Normally targets can't hit it from that high.
True.
Fucking guns.
A bit off to the side, there's just a thunk.
You guys hear the crashing and trees nearby.
Fenwith remembers where that is.
Okay.
Alright, there are currently 2 more shots. There's one on Alexi, one on Fenwith.
Which one first?
I'll shoot the one on Fenwith.
Okay. One on Fenwith.
I have a plan for this. I'm not going to try and kill steal from you guys, don't worry.
It's okay, there's another thing. And it's taking longer to get here, which means it's probably bigger.
True.
Good.
Arthur at least doesn't want to kill steal because he knows how much you guys have been hankering for this.
I mean, it wouldn't stop him from looking at you immediately with a heartbroken whine, which would come out entirely, unhinged monstrous, but to him it would be, just a sad little whine.
I'm curious, what would it
241.
sound like whining with just the bark?
The same. He wouldn't change his vocal cords.
241. This one who has been hit twice now. One with the counter and one from Ishtar. Got a 176. So that's going to be a difference of a little less than 70, 60%.
72.
72. That one goes and dies.
Some over, he's like, sorry.
There's just his head immediately lulls back before he looks over at you and just he can't say anything, what with just how gnarled up his teeth get in this form, as well as the heavy bark growths that you can see this time. But he just slings out a paw towards it with a low groan, echoes through the clearing. He shakes his head and turns his attention back to the one on Alexi, and then it's sad. That's not his. It just
Which is also being shot right now.
Which immediately he's just gonna see another bullet pop through that one.
Nice.
And this is going to be at a minus 50 for you.
Yes. I rolled the funny number though. 229.
Nice.
This one got a 179. So that's going to be a difference of exactly 50.
60.
It is still up.
That is your
See
turn.
before? Didn't even fucking kill his.
I wanted to weaken it for you guys. So you guys
I don't want it to be weak. Any other character would be like, yes, it's easier for me to kill. Fenwith is no, I want to fight it.
Next is going to be Finway.
I go through the stages of grief. And I wait for whatever big motherfucker's coming.
Oh, okay. You prep yourself for whatever's coming through. Alexi.
Mine's dead as well.
No,
No,
it's severely damaged.
there is an immensely distraught monstrous Fenwith next to you, though. As his just clatters into smoldering bones.
Even if it's for more discomfort purposes, he keeps up the cold and he quickly just swings through this creature. Let's see. This is my second attack, technically, because I countered this round.
Correct.
259 attack.
Okay. And it's going to be at minus 30. Cool. 172. So that's going to be slightly over 80%, so 80% of your damage.
112 cold damage.
112. As you do so, you slash through it, causing it to clatter to the ground, bones and all.
There's like a... Here, I'll roll for it, why not? Of course. With a 262 style, he slices through the creature, causing it to kind of like... the upper part of it to kind of flip in the air and drop to the ground, while there's like a combination of fire in the center, just some droplets of water, and shards of ice as he finishes it off.
As you guys are waiting, just after what you have dealt with, something comes crashing through the trees. As a creature that stands at about 9 feet tall, maybe taller, if it wasn't hunched, moves through the woods.
I wonder if it's one of those ones. Oh, never mind.
Oh, it's the good boy. Goodest
As-
boy.
This demon comes through, looking around, observing the battlefield before quickly leaping into action. It's going to start at the top of the rounds.
Fenwith is no longer sad. He's immediately making a low happy rumble because, oh yeah, fuck yeah, gotta fight that. Gotta fight that.
As it notices everything, it begins to laugh like a hyena. As it begins to maniacally laugh
races.
and do so, it inhales deeply, its torso expanding to about 3 times its size before each of the heads aim. And they're going to aim at, well, I guess I have to do it randomly now because y'all killed your targets. One is going to be at the one that died in front. One's going to be at Ishtar. One is going to be at Richard. And the last is going to be at Arthur.
Fuck.
Goes for all the squishies.
Notice the backline.
Unfortunately, I rolled a 2, 3, then 1, and that was the order that those things died in, which is the only numbering fashion I had. But as it inhales, it then gouts a 150-foot long, 80-foot wide column of fire and superheated ash.
I want it dead so bad.
Question.
Sure.
I accumulated. Can I use automatic transportation to fucking dodge that?
Ishtar's got a shield on you, remember?
Still.
Is it a defensive technique or a passive technique?
Sure.
I shall look because I don't know the I didn't see anything written down for this. It just had 3 ways I could use it in like the Dominion book.
It'll have a type. It'll say like active or something.
Let me look.
Because like the reason Doc can use his to dodge is because his is specifically defensive teleportation.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's also why if I charge for it, Alexi can use Arnbjork.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's written in a way I thought I could use it either way. Honestly, Arthur would only use it for defense because he doesn't need to get in close ever. So it wouldn't
What
be
page is
time
it
to
on?
attack. That's going to be 57 to minion. Yeah, because it's this big table that says.
Use of automatic transport, action type variable. Can be tied to an attack or defense, varying greatly in its application, depending on its case. Okay.
Now the question is, what piece is Fenwick gonna take from this one?
Does say it's.
I'm gonna skin the whole thing.
Yeah, because I know the one in the
Oh, they do have a thing for it tied to a defense.
Yeah, he already said that.
Yeah, it would be tied to defense. That's what I would have picked.
Okay,
'Cause,
well,
yeah.
make a mark of that, and we will remember.
Writing it down next to the ability.
Which
About
means
time I have a defense ability.
that, though, I will let you know, and this comes with the stipulation that if it's as a defense, that means you can only use it as a defense, and you can't use it to teleport to a specific area in combat.
Yeah, that's fair. Does it work out of combat at all? Like, can I still?
I would
use
say
it?
out of combat is fine.
Okay, because that's all I really care about, honestly. Out of combat and defense, because that's all I'd use it for.
Okay.
If you ever need to close distance, you just hop on Finwit's hand and he'll throw you.
Yeah.
Regardless, all that means is that you can dodge as part of your defense roll. It doesn't actually prevent you from being hit.
Yeah.
You need to get a successful defense, as it says in the ability right there.
It's one of those things that if your agility was low, but you took this, you'd be able to get out of an area attack.
Oh.
More likely.
Oh, okay.
If you're not able to, you take a huge penalty.
Damn, I thought it would give me fun little bonuses.
Nope. But you can dodge out of an 80-foot cone. So.
That's fair. Would that matter here at all? Like, in this instance?
Well, yes. It allows you to use your dodge rather than your block.
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah.
I don't know if your block is all that high.
My block is non-existent.
We have combined defense, so it really
Yeah.
just depends on if your class gives it to you or not. But you don't want to take an area attack block anyway.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, that is going to be so it's going to attack y'all. As it inhales deeply. These massive cones of fire come at y'all.
I'm spending fatigue on this.
All right. So for everyone, that's going to be a 286.
Yeah, I'm spending fucking fatigue on that.
How much fatigue are you using?
Just one, I think. Actually, I have a new thing. I don't think I take fatigue effects anymore. Let me
Was
look.
that from the Nemesis?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know if it's fatigue in particular.
That's what I'm checking. I have it written down. Let's see. One with nothing? Finds itself beyond pain, fatigue, or physical damage. Yeah, it's probably just flavor text. Let's see. Never receives any kind of penalty for physical causes. I assume that's just his like damage criticals, not just fatigues.
Let me read it.
All right.
What page is that?
25. One with nothing. Top right. Oh, wait. There it is. It wouldn't be. I just read the other abilities. I'd have to have Essence of Emptiness. That gets rid of penalties from pain or fatigue.
Yeah, one with nothing allows you to not suffer critical damage.
All right. Different thing.
Which might be beneficial in this instance.
Yeah. I don't have it, but one day.
Anyway, for the three mentioned, go ahead and make your defense rolls. And if Ishtar chooses, they can attempt to make defense rolls for the other two.
Not bad.
Okay. That's an open roll.
Nice. Whenever I roll a 60 on the stats, I get really excited for a second because it doesn't have any lines like to dictate if it's a 6 or a 9. So I get really excited. It's always a 60.
Okay. So advantage rolls would be for just me and Hell Knight.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have any penalties, so you roll 2 times.
Okay. Well, I think I hit my cap for Ishtar,
Okay.
because that would have been a 308 before the cap.
Okay.
Let me just add that in the chat. Do you want me to just put the 280?
Yes, since you don't have any humanity.
And that's a 158 for Hell Knight.
Okay. That's not going to be satisfactory for Hell Knight, so he's going to have to use his Necromantic Shield.
This would hit him while he's still in spectral form, or was that just a short-term thing?
No, he detects something dangerous about this flame and decides to defend himself.
Okay.
He open rolls, so he succeeds. So it gets a 286. What is your heat armor, Arthur?
2.
Feel like that's not satisfactory. Have you considered having 6?
I wish.
Let me check its key abilities.
Oh no.
1 fear.
Okay, so it doesn't reduce any AT with its fire.
Oh.
So that means you only take 50% of the damage. So you take 50 damage
Okay.
as you teleport. And now, where are you spatially? Up to 300 feet away.
He has teleported kind of like to the side near over in the direction of Alexi and Finwith as he wants to still stay next to the front line. At least near it.
For both Ishtar and Hell Knight, block the entire attack, though your shields each take 280 damage.
Hey, God, I rolled well. Jesus.
Thank God I put up the shield with high health.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
In the trail of these flames, you see movement as the Ignis that were located within that line of fire reanimate with some
Uh-oh.
health.
We got a fucking summoner on our hands.
Nope, the Ignis just
I
revived.
I don't
when they are
mean like
superheated.
summoner. I mean like just boss type creature. Bring it
So
in.
what you're
as-
saying is, if we bring their bodies with us, we have a sparring partner that we just need to light on fire.
Oh, hell yeah, we toss it at the campfire, let's go! And it's like, and this one we named this, and that one we named that. Ishtar, you can name this one.
Okay.
Speaking of the Ignis, since it's now their turn, as they are next on the initiative.
So the ones that were in the line of fire would have been the 3 around us, right?
Yes, the one in front of Ishtar, the one in front of Arthur, and the one in front of Richard. As they reanimate, starting with the one in front of Arthur, sees where you've gone, and dashes at you in an insane speed.
Bro.
You gonna bro me when you kill all my monsters in the first action?
Uncool, Cameron. Uncool. Toxic DM over here.
It's going to attack you now. This is going to be the second attack against you. So, that's going to be a minus 30 for you. This one got a 249.
Yo! One sec. Never mind. I pulled an Astrid.
It's okay, I did that earlier. That second open roll I had, I rolled a fucking, 17.
I rolled a 9.
Yep. Her curse lives on, much like her trauma.
Type it in the chat.
I did. 217.
Well,
Oh, 217.
all of her trauma
Uh,
lives.
So a 249, I got 30 over.
No, you all dying was the trauma.
But as it touches your armor, you find that your armor provides you no protection.
No!
So
My
that's
one
gonna be
defense!
30% of its damage to you. Which is going to be 27 damage.
Ouch.
And it's going to break your armor.
No.
We're gonna be naked in the Gehenna Forest. Hell yeah!
What armor are
Shame
you wearing?
succubus didn't wait.
Quality +5 armored long coat.
So it'll have a 20 fortitude.
It got a 26. Oh, I'm sorry, 28. So your arm coat is no longer quality. It's now just a standard long coat.
God damn it.
Nerdadia, you might want to come back.
As its superheated claws
Getting spicy
cut
in
through
here.
it with ease, but then you feel exceptionally hot as it stares at you, and the hollow spaces where its eyes are blink red as it's going to use Consume on you.
I don't like
Oh.
that.
Kinky.
That's not a fun one.
Fortunately for you, I've recently changed this one so it doesn't do as much damage as it did before. I need you to make a physical resistance check for me, please.
Oh, I'm fine then. Alright.
Well,
So you say.
Roll bad, but I have a very good bonus. $158.
Oh yeah, that's true. You have the
I have plus
Nemesis stuff.
120 to my physical resistance.
Okay. As it does so, its eyes fade and nothing happens. The void within you consumes its fire.
Try to use the fucking penance stare on me, bitch. Like to see you try. I regret nothing.
Next is going to be the one that is on Ishtar. It's going to attack you. That is going to be a 259.
That is a 255.
Okay. Just barely, your shield just barely prevents you as its arm reaches past your shield, but your shield suddenly shoves it out of the way. Its body goes spiraling out as it gets onto its feet, stares at you, and I need you to make a physical resistance check now for me, please.
Thank God we're no longer under that presence penalty.
It would be very bad in this situation.
Definitely. Okay.
Like, potential for TPK bet.
Yeah, consume is nothing to take lightly.
That is 143.
Okay. You're fine. Your innate ice nature, as your body begins to heal up, you wince, and as the heat suddenly, after just a brief moment, begins to fade away, you feel okay. Your body is incredibly hot and you're sweating profusely, but your internal organs did not burn. The one that was on Richard looks at him, changes its mind, moves to the next target instead, as it knows it cannot hit him, and is going to move up on the list and go after Finwith instead.
I deserve it for the posts.
It comes bounding up to you and rolled almost an open roll. Leaps up at your flank and is going to attempt to take a good 283 out of you.
$274.
Okay. Not enough for any significant damage. Its claw digs through the bark nice and deep. You can feel that part of your body get nice and hot, but you do not take any damage from it. Before it lands and then stares at you, I need you to make a physical resistance check for me, please.
$138.
All right. You feel that deep within you, something like a fire makes you instantly react as if something hot had touched you. It's very uncomfortable for a moment, but after that, the pain passes and you are not affected by its consume.
Backs away for a moment with like a irritated snap of the teeth, but as it fades, just kind of turns his attention more on it. But like, oh, what'd you do? I'm about to slap the shit out of you for it, though.
Ishtar. Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry. Ishtar, your shield takes 250% of its damage. Your shield takes 135 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not true. It takes 320 4% viewed, or 324 damage.
Are you sure that's your final answer?
Yes.
Okay then.
Now it's your turn.
And since I was prepped to attack, I didn't get to go last turn. Now that there's stuff near me, did I get to?
Sure, why not? I'll allow it.
Okay. Because I just didn't get to use the last turn. I was waiting for it to come.
Well, the held action
trotting
was I'm going to attack whatever it is that's coming at us through the forest, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, it didn't come close enough. But now that I have this little guy, I would like to squish
I'll let
him.
you punt this little skeleton dude, sure.
I would love to. 263.
It got a 226. So, as it leaves itself open with its stare, you back up, snap, and then slam, smashing it to pieces. Apparently, when it revived, it did not get a lot of health back.
Ah. Oh, he has impact in as far as he just slaps it and bones just off into the woods.
That's fair.
Straightens up. Oh. Turns back around to face it.
Okay.
Now you can do whatever.
Ishtar is going to try out an area effect called Freeze. Cause an intense cold on one or more people, freezing their bodies while locking them in prisons of ice. And that's a 5-meter radius. If I'm doing the math correctly, that's enough to hit pretty much all of our standing opponents, right?
5 meters is 15 feet. They are not that close, unfortunately.
What about the one in front of Ishtar?
Yeah, of course it's.
She's gonna...
It's close enough to hit one of them. I'm saying, not all of them.
Okay, then she will go ahead and aim for the one on her. It needs to make a magic resistance of 1. It has to beat a 140.
It fails. It rolled a 5, which means it got a 60. Ooh, that's not good.
Let's see. If the difference is less than 20, the effect is minor paralysis. If it is less than 80, normal paralysis. And if it's higher, complete paralysis.
It's totally frozen, and it needs to make a physical resistance check. Let's see. For completely... Oh, God, it needs to make a 160. It got almost as good as it can get. It still failed. Not by a lot, though. It takes a little bit of damage from the cold.
Funny enough, that's a daily maintenance.
That's miserable. I imagine it has like every 5 turns they can make another save, but still.
It doesn't say so in the description, but I would assume so.
No, it literally... It doesn't say that, actually.
No, seriously.
Yeah, it's the only thing it mentions is paralysis. It doesn't say if someone can attempt to get out of it or not.
Well, damn.
Don't fail.
I saved you one.
You get like a crooked thumbs up.
That's kind of messed up, but fair enough. Yes.
We have to be missing something. It's
Oh, you know
translation or
what? I
something.
know what we are missing. You need to make a projection roll against its defense.
Okay.
You actually have to hit it. You might. It didn't do well, I'll tell you. Got a 186.
That's a 227.
So you hit it. Let's see.
And apparently you could sneeze on these things and they die, but
Yeah, not like it matters all too much, but this is a good chance to look at the spell seriously and judge whether anything needs to be affected by it or not.
fucking Anima.
To be fair, you have to fail by an absurdly low number.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it rolled a 5. Which put it right at that maximum level there. anything higher, it only would have been partially.
Does anybody want to know what fully immobilized does?
Nothing
have
Like a
good.
minus 200 all action.
Minus 200 attack, minus 200 block, minus 200 dodge, minus 100 initiative, and minus 200 physical action.
Eat shit. Or eat ice, I suppose.
No, yeah, they're just paralyzed until their magic resistance changes for whatever reason.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
So, for all intents and purposes, this one shatters to pieces.
Nice.
Pretty much see Ishtar like, you know what? I'm pissed off at you. Just takes a big inhale and just breathes out this cone of ice, just instantly freezes into a block and it just crumbles.
All the different frozen bone pieces just kind of topple off one another into a pile of encased bones.
Little neat little pile.
Yeah, honestly, it was dead. It would just keep taking physical damage until it died for being encased in ice. So, cool. All right. That's
Very.
Ishtar's turn.
Effective.
Yeah.
What I love about this is if I'm focusing on a single target, it ups the resistance value by 20 points.
Richard, unfortunately, doesn't have all too much Xeon for this round, as he had to use a shield earlier.
Spectral Archmage, what will he do?
Let's see here. Oh, but he has enough for a death beam.
Oh, sounds kind of lame.
It's right next
Not
to
as good
Soul.
as Soul Beam, I gotta admit. So he is going to direct his Soul Beam at the Cerberus. Oof, that's only a 250.
God, why do we even have him around?
I honestly didn't do much better. I got 232. So it's going to take 20% of the damage, which means it takes 16.
You alright?
It was flat.
As he strikes out at the Cerberus standing all the way back where it is, it attempts to avoid one of its arms, gets slightly grazed, and it looks at you and it begins to snarl and snap each individual head, doing a different action.
Hey,
Alrighty.
Cameron, small question.
Sure.
Why do you keep throwing three-headed things at me?
That's a good question.
Like, do you have a thing for, like, Finn with having multiple limbs?
I mean, technically, the Arctic Chimera had 5 heads.
Sorry, multi-headed creatures.
I don't know. Unfortunately, you guys fight a lot of multi-headed creatures. This is not a true Cerberus, though, or a Caraberos.
No, we killed that one.
I'm sure it'll reanimate on another floor somewhere.
And just out of curiosity, are me and Alex gonna get a turn?
Yes. We're getting there.
Because from what I saw, it got to go at the top of the round, and then you're letting it go again.
No,
So
I'm not letting it go.
Oh,
I just
okay.
said it was snapping and snarling because it just got shot by a death beam.
Okay. Just making sure.
I'm not forgetting y'all. By
It's
the
both
way,
shot
it is
someone else.
Arthur's turn.
As I accumulate in barrel shot.
Okay.
Cameron, if it holds on, if he's gonna kill it, lie.
Actually, well, first shot is going toward the thing right in front of me. I don't want to forget about that. I don't like
That's
this thing.
fair.
All right, first shot.
Okay.
You are point blank.
What's the bonus on that?
Plus 30.
All right.
That being said, I did learn something interesting. The long distance attack with melee attacks. They changed it in the Dominion keybook. You don't get the point blank.
I mean, that makes utter sense, because otherwise you're just attacking with the weapon and getting a bonus for some bizarre reason.
286 for the shot on the man right in front of me.
The one in front of you, he dies.
Nice. All right, here we go.
They got 10
Barrel
hit
shot.
points back when they came back up, so.
There. You know,
Oh, that's why you shattered.
what could be fun? Let me check how long something will take. 'Cause I have my something called, I think my dark power? Yep, dark power. Gift will grant as many
Okay.
points twice the subject's alarm level, and they can be spent from bonuses to rolls.
Oh,
We have
that.
5 per day. I have twice my Elan, that's 100.
It's true.
Just to add a little extra scary damage to this thing.
It's up to you.
Just because I've never used this and I want to, I'm going to add a 50 to this.
Okay.
$331.
331. Let's see here. As it sees this, it's going to activate a technique.
No, I used my dark power.
Let's see here. I'm going to go through a list of techniques and just pick one for funsies
No,
that has picked up on its journey.
I picked up a new key ability in my journey. It's called I shoot him. He doesn't do anything.
I shoot him lots.
And he just stands there and takes it.
Unfortunately, it's not great at using key techniques. I have to use
That's
a low
good.
level one.
He pulls out 2 like tiny guns. 2 can play in that game.
Oh god, Arthur would be scary if he had picked up Anastasia's ability to move shadows.
Ah, I have a great one that it would very likely pick up here.
Oh no.
Let me real quick. Actually, there's one or two. So let me see here what this effect does.
So you know my character idea of learned it? Kind of similar in nature to this thing.
Guys, we have to leave it live long enough for Finwith to see everything that it's stolen how to do so that he can take it and learn how everything it's stolen.
No.
See, alternatively, we need to kill it quickly because I have an important class in the morning.
Fuck you.
It's important.
Your class is one day. Finwith being able to use a bunch of fun abilities is forever.
Yeah.
It is going to meld into darkness as all your shots pass through it harmlessly.
You can't do that.
It has
It's unfair.
gained intangibility with the technique Aether.
Arthur's mad now.
As it becomes intangible, which, unlike other forms of damage prevention, being able to affect energy is not enough. The attack itself must be energy based to affect this thing.
Well, about that. There was an
And
ability.
considering that this is a technique developed in the wake, this thing would most definitely probably have it.
Yeah. There was a ability I was considering getting.
But to say the least, after your first few shots don't do anything to it, what do you do?
Fuck. That's like my thing. I'm going to go make sure I'm properly behind Finn with an Alexi.
Okay.
Have these two like protect me.
All right, and it is Alexi's turn.
All right, so this thing's intangible right now.
It
Or
seems to be,
from what
yeah.
we see. And it's not like I know that energy can damage it, so.
Correct. Though you would know that energy affects literally almost everything, probably.
Ah, so there's plausible.
I mean, that's what energy damage does. The fact that most armors don't block any energy.
All right. Well, this is a new toy that I'm going to play with. As Alexei runs up to him, kind of stabbing the sword into the ground, he takes hold of the... He does accumulate this around, but I'm not going to be able to do this particular technique at all.
Okay.
He takes hold of the Tai Yonatsuki as he pulls the weapon, and it becomes a plus 15 weapon that does energy damage.
Okay.
And he's going to make his attacks, though I do need to take some penalties into account.
Yes. Unless you are a Bauto master.
Also, just it's not a similar weapon. It's a mixed. I have a mixed weapon, so I also have that penalty as well.
I see.
But it's better than not hitting it at all.
True.
That looks like an our weapon. I didn't put all the stats in for it.
Oh, I could do that in a turn. Quite possible.
Wait a second.
Yeah, all I've got for it's that it's a red-orange lightning inscribed scabbard. Used heaven unsheathed. Drawn during a turn used to attack. It becomes plus 15. Deals energy damage. Must be sheathed for 5 turns between use. Nothing else.
I mean, that's pretty much what it does.
I mean, it just doesn't have like the listed stats like for what damage it is.
I mean, I only get this ability for a turn, so yeah, why not? I'll also pop Frostlinger. Alright, let's take a look at these penalties, shall we? Mixed weapon class, minus 40. And then I believe unsheathing is a minus 10. Let me double check. Botojutsu. Oh, minus 25. So for a total of a minus 52. I will be popping to fatigue.
Okay. Oh, no. That makes sense. Okay.
Oh yeah, what size is this thing? Oh wait, that doesn't matter for this weapon, so it's fine. Let's see. That. So 208 for the first attack.
208. It got a 195.
Fair.
So, 10% of your damage.
That will be 12 energy damage.
Okay.
10% is a pretty easy one to calculate.
It botched on its roll, actually.
Oof. Alright. I just rolled terribly.
It rolled. Oh yeah, it botched, but it got -5. So
Second attack. Better. That is 247.
oh, I'm so sorry. When I botched, my brain defaulted. You actually did 30% more damage. So what was 40% of the damage?
40% of the damage. Let's see. So that's gonna be 48. Total.
Okay. Counted for. Don't forget to type your attacks in chat, please.
$247 for the next one.
247. This is the third attack against it, which means that's going to be a -50 for it. Means it got a 158, so just shy of 90 over. It's going to be 80% of your damage.
That's 96 energy damage.
Okay. Something happens, but it's very hard to make out because it's all black.
Okay.
It's still alive, though.
Third attack. That's gonna be like 7 less, so 240.
It's got -70 on this one, so 129. That's going to be 111 over, so 110% of your damage.
Uh, 132 energy damage.
Okay, something again happens, but again, it's hard to see.
This is the third attack. Yeah, no. This would be the fourth attack. That's terrible. 224.
169. Nice. So that's going to be a little less than 60, so 50%.
That'll be 60 points of damage. Now we go into my regular attacks. So that's gonna be -64. Oof, that's miserable.
I'm sorry, you used a technique, right?
Yes, that was.
I just thought of something. I want to double check real quick.
Nines across the board. Yeah, I used a Frostlinder, which is the ranged attack thing.
Goodness. Did I miss it twice? Oh, I just didn't go as far. Alright, Kollinger. Slaying Aura. With a... Oh, no, not Kollinger. Frostvalai?
No, Frostlander. It's the first
Frostlander.
technique.
Oh, the first one. Huh. Interesting. Okay, never mind.
What were you wondering?
I thought it automatically converted the damage to ice, but no. Despite its description, where it specifically says you're shooting ice shards at people, it doesn't change your damage to ice, actually.
Yeah, weirdly. Next one's a 148.
One second. $104. So that's 40% of your damage.
That'll be 48 points of damage.
Suddenly, the shadows surrounding it dissipates, and it hits the ground.
Oh, seemingly to die?
Yes. As it hits the ground.
He'll take one more swing just in case. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
That's at minus 50. So that's gonna be that one takes its place then, so that's gonna be 70, and that's going to be minus 82. Let's see. 129.
Okay. Its body takes a massive tear through it, as you can see various parts of its innards.
There was already like a low noise of upset, and when you do that, you immediately see like a big paw like swiping in towards you from the corner of your vision.
I'll roll for that one. Not terrible. 224 style. As he's like cutting into this thing, ice shards made of energy just start slamming into the shadowy figure, and then with the final slash hit coming down, and then him carving into it one more time, just in case. The energy from the blade fades,
And then you get gently swept to the side by a big bear paw.
Anything else, Arthur?
He's scanning around, seeing if there's anything else.
Fenwith looks back to it and reaches out with like a paw and just like nudges the body with a claw.
it's still there.
As you're looking around, let's see, one second, gotta change music. Multi-attack, man. I can't express to you guys how much multi-attack overpowers literally everything.
Yeah.
Fenwith will mourn it.
It's okay. I just have to throw more stuff at you. It's fine.
They're still gonna kill him before I can have fun.
I
We should
mean,
have to see
did you
the-
have energy attacks?
No, but it wouldn't have been able to do that forever.
No, in
That
fact,
was-
when it goes intangible, it can't affect anyone else either. So,
Oh, okay. My
And
mistake.
I'm just gonna wait.
here I
for
was
the suit
considering
of the
destroy
sun.
key.
That's a safe assumption, honestly. I assume it would charge up to some big thing.
I was considering like, oh yeah, destroy key. Oh yeah, let's shorten its key level if it's going to be doing stuff like that.
it's not actually a technician, which is weird because one of its main functions is it can absorb the key techniques of people it devours. But yeah, it can't use high level techniques. Aether is just not actually that expensive of one. But it's okay. As you're searching around, Arthur, you don't detect anything. And as you guys are looking around at the bodies, suddenly a figure appears in your midst. And you're all hit with an immense aura of intimidation. As
This Fenwith got to see the Serb versus fire attack.
I don't want to talk to any of y'all.
Hey, Ishtar didn't hit that one.
I mean, Fenwith got to see both attack with both abilities. So
It's not even just wanting to see the things, because Cameron will give me a list of stuff that he can do. It's also he didn't get to hurt and hurt back.
I mean, this is just like as I discussed about Anima. If all the characters are at the same level, it's impossible to have equal gameplay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Fenwith will have his time. I'm not upset that I didn't get to fight it. Fenwith in character is upset that he didn't get to fight it. There's a difference between me and him. I'm extremely happy to see you guys dump a fuck ton of damage into everything. But I have a character to play, and the character just wants to throw hands, okay?
Poor
What's the
Fenwith
point of living? And it takes so much more to have like a satisfying fight, since Pain just he just kind of shrugs it off.
I also just realized Arthur is now down to spar, because I also remembered he's proficient in all weapons, so he can just pick up like a training weapon and fight you. So he doesn't have to fucking shoot you.
Fenwith, yeah, look at all the fucking weapons we have. Actually, I do have 2 quality weapons on me.
we actually have a lot of weapons.
Yeah, we have a lot of weapons.
He would be happy to. It's just his biggest concern is the biggest thing I'm trained with is my guns, and I don't want to kill you because I think you're cool. I'd rather not kill you.
Do you want to use the halberd, the longbow, or the ones?
No, that doesn't look good.
As this individual,
Oh
Sorry.
no.
Oh, it's one of those guys. They're so cool.
As this individual appears amongst your midst, I need
Fenwith's
y'all.
still doing the Iron Giant to the dead deer thing over there. Looks up.
Sorry, 1 second. He has a particular aura.
Something tells me to aim for the heart, you guys. It's the top of the cross picture.
I mean, in that case, I think that's a very shared weakness amongst most people.
Yeah.
1 second.
Ironically, not shared by the Vitella.
Yes, combat aura.
Ooh, it's that.
We all know what it is.
What's the resistance check?
Ah, you guys must use only your base presence.
No, oh fuck.
Oh.
Or you can use your composure if you developed that.
No.
No, presents.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Finwith has great composure, so he's so good at like
I
modulating.
mean, my
his
composure
responses.
is technically higher, but I guess the question is if it changes the DC or not.
I assume my Elan doesn't
It's either your base presence or your composure.
and I assume my Elan doesn't add.
Not unless this is considered to be a fear effect. If anything, you have affects fear.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that affects fear. Damn. I got so many fun bonuses to resistance stuff.
Okay.
My composure's shit, so.
My composure is pretty okay. It's 20 more over my presence, so.
Finwith does actually have composure, but it's just from background.
I'm a lot better with all my fun nemesis shit. Damn. I need to get a combat aura at some point. It looks really fun.
Yeah, it's very good.
Not crazy. It doesn't. I don't think it'd be useful.
It's not super useful except for like a mad flex on like really weak ads or something.
I think like I said last time when I brought it up, I'm probably gonna get it like at the end of the campaign, just as like flavor stuff for Arthur post game. He will develop a combat aura and use it. Also, he might get a limit that regenerates ki with every kill he gets.
Of course he would.
If Black Sun somehow survives Arthur, he becomes like the mythology of like Slender Man, the boogeyman that just haunts the halls.
Or Radical Larry.
Oh my god. There's just some black streaks
Oh, I
on the floor, and
misread
everybody's like,
Alex seems less enthused by that.
I don't know what that is.
It's an SCP.
Really?
It's the one that like phases through the walls and like the floors and stuff. Yeah, it's Larry.
I know it was called Larry.
Yeah.
Radical Larry. Okay. I'm gonna adjust this stats just a little bit. Not too major, but
I mean, if I was like a super intimidating SCP and somebody named me something like Radical Larry, I also would purposefully hurt all of them as much as possible.
Fair. Arthur didn't seem like a peanut to me, though.
Nah.
Oh, I
Definitely
guess
not a
I
shy
should
guy.
roll for Richard as well. Okay. So there's this intimidating presence, and all of you recognize that this guy is powerful. But Arthur, due to your depth of key knowledge, you see what everyone else doesn't. This individual has a menacing aura that demonstrates that he has a combat ability higher than even Lauren Teeve, who you guys met before.
Arthur kind of like freezes seeing this and just kind of hands up a little, surrendering, like spinning his hands as the guns disappear back into him as he's just like, I ain't trying to start shit.
As you all see, the impressive Arthur do this, who, dumps damage like a motherfucker. As he turns to you all, he speaks.
I find you all interesting. Come with me and meet my master.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
okay.
end it there.
Good with gathering up all the things I killed. As long as you don't take the toys.
The high shadow elementals are so cool.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you say. We'll come with you. Yeah. Can I get you anything?
You're not a fear. You're just.
No, I know.
It's really weird because the effect you are is affected, which means
I think I have like a penalty.
minus
and all.
10 all action penalty.
Oh yeah. I just like the idea of Arthur just doing the full like so intimidated, like trying to just make them happy. Can I get you anything like tea, water, food? Like
You have the unnerved
I
beat
don't
us.
need it. Like I don't need it. I don't need any of this. You can just have it all if you want. Like he's just upending like his bag.
Thankfully, Ishtar holds all the money.
But yes, so that's what he does. We're gonna end it for now because we've hit the end of the session. So let's go ahead and do experience. General interpretation, combat session. You guys didn't really get to do a whole lot. You guys did do some role playing with your actions. I saw that, not a ton. I'll give you guys 10 experience points. You guys get 3 experience points for being here. And you guys get, so let's see, no difficult actions, no good ideas or plans,
Nope, we just got some lore and then fought some things.
no segment closure, I'll give you guys 5 experience for the combat. It wasn't very risky, and it was mostly on your side. Though, Arthur did take a lot of damage that fight, actually.
I did. I am close to half health.
That's scary for Arthur.
I lost some Xeon.
I also am hurting a bit on Key. That used a decent chunk.
To be fair, you guys were 2 levels above the Ignises and 1 level, or no, you get the same level as the Cerberus, so.
Yeah, I definitely summoned an Ignis at some point because it was a level 6 demon. I could summon that as Hiram.
They're level 5, but you know.
Level 5.
So, I mean, like, it was a fight that you guys had a greater advantage in overall. So I'm not upset about the combat awards. I'm not upset about how the combat went as much as just it's a good gauge to know. Also, you guys lost some armor. And
Yeah, I might as well peel off my long coat. It's fucking worthless. And it'll boost my initiative.
not only that, but you guys used a lot of Xeon, Key, and
Arthur's
some hit
squishy.
points.
Yeah, I used the barrel shot twice. That is a decent chunk of Key.
And so, yeah, I'm not too unhappy about that, because that just makes whatever you guys have to deal with next even harder.
I will need to request travel time in the next one.
Same.
That does matter for me.
Same.
Request travel time.
Need to know how many hours it is.
I just need to know how many minutes it is.
They want their key back.
Yeah. Do you have like the advanced key recovery or whatever?
I have key recovery, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's still just by the hour.
So, most damage dealt goes to Arthur. I don't think that's a question. Most damage taken also goes to Arthur.
Greedy, greedy, greedy.
Yeah.
Support goes to Ishtar. No facing.
Nope. Only my sorrows.
Pity goes to Finwith. By the way, I'm not going to give you the monster stats because when you use them for the first time, something will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
But I will
Good
have
to
those prepped for
rest.
you by next time.
Yep. I was just gonna say, like, just make sure you have all 3 prepared. So, other than that, you're good.
You're not going to get the chance to go see the bird, unfortunately.
No!
This
Let me
guy's
get my
not going to be like,
toys!
this guy here is not going to be like, oh yeah, go fetch the bird corpse, I suppose.
Somebody teleport it.
Can we take one of the igneous corpses as a fighting dummy? As they could come back to life by being lit on fire. Or we assume.
You probably have
It was
to take
just
all
a
the
mechanic
pieces.
for the fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
In any case, but I'll have the 2 anyway that you get. Honestly, the bird's not going to be anything super big anyway.
But what if I aesthetically wanted to mix it with other stuff?
What if it has
It's
that
okay, too.
one thing that no other creature has?
It doesn't.
It did
You
get
know what
fun.
it is? It's a demon that flies that alerts other demons. I put it there for that purpose. It's like a level 1 creature.
Am I not just allowed to collect stuff? Even like the commons in the card deck are still a part of the collection. It's
Mhm.
fine. I'll go back out into the Gehenna Forest and hunt one down later.
Sure. If you get that far.
Excuse me, Shadow Man, can you bring me a Screechy Boy? I just want to break its fragile neck and take pieces of it.
In any case, so yeah, Fenwith got the pity award correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Player nominations and or kudos.
Kudos to Alex and Devin for doing a shitload of damage.
I mean, I don't know if that's kudo worthy.
I said kudos, not player award.
Now we know that's kudos worthy. Good job. You have a broken build. Pats on back.
I
mean, I guess.
only built Arthur to be like for a short amount of time. I didn't want him to get this far.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun.
It's all Gucci. No worries.
Of course. That was the thing, like playing Arthur once in a while, I'm like, oh damn. I don't want to be stealing from the party. I don't want to be like insanely overpowered.
Well, just to clarify again, I am not upset.
Of course.
Fenwith, however, yes. I'm not gonna lie. He's upset.
It's one of those things that isn't founded by like anything you guys have done. It's one of those things where it's just an innate feeling for
It's
me.
just
Like,
player etiquette.
yeah, and every like D&D thing, I always am like, I don't want to overshadow anyone. I want everyone to get a moment. Like, it's a cool thing they can do. And playing Arthur goes get some of those like natures of me, where it's just like, make sure everyone gets a chance because I kill everything.
Unfortunately, that's Anima.
Yeah. Though this is all so Arthur can be fucking horrifying and like after the game.
Oh,
It's
no
all-
worries. Once you guys take on Black Sun, I'll be sure to throw hordes and hordes of very powerful modified undead at y'all. You're gonna need to be OP.
Yeah.
We did get told expressly that they have undead akin to gods.
I would like to give a possible player award to Ishtar. In particular, just the freezing of the demon, where it's just like you just look at it, and it's just like it's so fucked that camera's just like it just dies.
Yeah, so these things don't have a cold or water vulnerability, but if you submerge them or cover them in large amounts of water or ice, then they take damage. They have to make a check as it cools them off.
My kudo to Ishtar for just the back and forth with Richard.
It's fun.
I agree to that, so take a player word for that. And
The professor was entertaining. And he's just like,
yeah.
thank you. And then actual relevant information.
And also take a player word for your for. I like how you're just like she just gets angry at the guy and blows ice on him, and it's just a very light-hearted way of dealing with an enemy in this very tense situation where you guys are dealing with damn souls I'd like to also extend that to Alexi. I liked your descriptions.
Really good.
Got that style stat. Gotta use it.
It's true. I appreciate you.
You're lucky I didn't hit you harder and send you flying right before Shadow Boy showed up.
Yeah, I mentioned you guys noticed 7 figures at the beginning, but when the bird swooped overhead, you guys mistook it for the 7th member. He disappeared. By the way, he also has Nemesis.
Oh no.
Makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of scary things that could be. There's a lot of interesting abilities in Nemesis.
Now we have no choice but to follow this man to his leader. Oh, we wore out poor Ripley.
She meowed at me and twisted very quickly.
Also, I did enjoy the poor Fenwith noises.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Take a player award as like secondary pity. Also, just good job representing your character's emotion through animal noises. It's been a very consistent thing.
Golden Retriever just wanted to play, didn't get the chance.
You broke the Kong ball. We bought it like 5 minutes ago from PetSmart. We got it like into the car and immediately mulched. It's
Kinda-
fine, because I gotta slap one of them.
Follow me.
Kind of curious what your initial thing is gonna be when you use those things.
I don't know, what could possibly happen invoking the spirits of demons?
Oh, I wonder.
I will tell you, mechanically, it's really cool.
And narratively very upsetting?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It's fine, it's not like Fenwith's whole thing is like draping the spirits of things over him to take on their forms and powers, and also being easily possessed as to why it works like that.
Also, sorry, I got to use the fucking katana again though. Or for the first time anyway.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It's a really cool weapon.
That's why we hold on to fun equipment.
Yeah.
Especially because Anima's like a fucking dead zone.
Fair.
You never get money, and if you
Dead
do
zone.
get money, it's not enough to buy magic equipment. And if you do find magic equipment, Cameron randomizes it, and so it's never shit you need.
I tend to throw in at least 1 or 2 items that the party needs or can use.
You did get a couple of cool ones though, admittedly.
Looks at the fucking camera in the office as we get a goddamn Zodiac weapon, and it's not the one my character's been built to use since level fucking 3, and we're level fucking 8.
No, instead you got a weapon
So-
that enhances your essence ability.
True.
I'm never close enough to hit anybody because Arthur exists.
That's also
Good
fair.
thing you're not Arthur and you are in the same place right now.
Oh yeah, because we're having such a bloodbath in the middle of the house,
It could happen.
drenching the foyer.
True, they might ask for more
Before I
than
describe
one
it.
tasting dish at a time.
You know what? Listen, he would rather them ask him to like sword fight with them than take a sip. Mostly because like if it does hurt them, that doesn't actually make him feel any better. That's just further proof even these inhuman monsters are like at risk from him. Like it doesn't make him happy because somebody suffered because of it. The last 2 times he killed somebody and they suffered from it, he wasn't any happier either.
I mean, to be fair, he was at in an outhouse at the time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, for all that Doc is like a huge asshole and like honestly takes some enjoyment from other people's misery, depending on the situation, he does not actually enjoy how much like fucking pain he puts people in with his bloodline.
Fair.
Anywho,
Been with Best Boy, yeah. Glad we're all in agreement.
Yes.
any other player nominations and or kudos?
Nope, thank you, Ishtar, though, for playing along with the. It's like a really tiny thing, but like getting out of the tree and just like scoops up, sets down.
She's gotten pretty comfy around Fenwith. Fenwith is a lot stranger than most of the people she's been traveling, so she's kind of used to odd things. Besides, she's not one to talk. She's permanent half creature.
Well, then just like it kind of just puts back into perspective the reminder of like Ishtar is so small compared.
Yeah, especially when Finwith is in bear form.
Yeah, because he's like, God, like 8 foot tall, about to hit 9.
Yeah.
Picks up small child. I have adopted this. It's great. 10 out of 10. Radovan agrees. But also
Radovan
would like the
chasing
lumber,
you down.
would like the Viking to get away from her.
In all fairness, Ishtar never made the comment about the lumberjacks. If it was Serena, it'd be a
Yeah, no,
different
that's why I corrected. Radovan's just looking at Finwith and Alexi like, stay away from her.
Technically, she didn't say lumberjack. Just wanted a man who could actually take care of himself in the
Yeah,
wild.
but you said like a strong guy who could like take care of himself in the woods, and we're like, okay,
Lumberjack.
lumberjack.
Just described a lumberjack.
That was Radovan's immediate reaction.
Anywho, well, if that's it, then we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank everyone so much for coming to watch. If you enjoyed, please follow. See more amazing content like this. We're going to be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our Whispers in the Dark Pathfinder game, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And join the Discord. Join the RP fun. All right, go ahead and say goodnight, everyone.
Bye-bye.